Versus Brown.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Ms. Davis, according to the complaint that I've read, you and the defendant lived together for a period of time. It is your claim that when you moved in together, you put down a substantial amount of money, almost, I think, $4,000. You call it a down payment on the house. You say that Mr. Brown subsequently kicked you out of the house and you want that money back. You also said that he's used a video card where you rent videos from a store without your permission. It belonged to you. He didn't return the videos, and you now have a very extensive bill from that store. Mr. Brown says you never gave him a dime, and he's got a counterclaim for bills that he claims you owe him, and he says you've been bothering him that he doesn't like, so he wants you to pay for his trouble. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Davis, when did you move in with the defendant?
Your Honor, I would like to tell you how my ex-boyfriend did me wrong. He moved in with me in November of 2000.
Listen to my question. When did you move in together in a place where you claim you put money down?
In June of 2001.
That's
Shh. Now listen, I'm going to get to you, so don't interrupt her. We do things in a very orderly way here. It's the only way that I can function. Otherwise, I become frustrated. And Bird doesn't like it when I get frustrated. When did you move in together? June of 2001? Very good. And was this a house or an apartment?
It was a mobile home.
Was it a rental?
No, ma'am.
He bought it?
Process of buying, yes, ma'am.
And you say you gave him how much money?
It was $4,366.
And where did you get that money from?
I traded my mobile home in on the one that he purchased.
Okay, do you have any evidence of that transaction? All right, sir. I seem to have some evidence would tend to indicate, Mr. Brown, that she did not, in fact, give you any money towards the purpose of your mobile home.
Exactly, she did not.
Listen to me carefully, sir. I have evidence that she did not give you any money towards the purchase of your mobile home. But I have evidence here that she traded in her mobile home as a partial down payment for a mobile home that went into your name.
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. What has transpired was a mobile home that was sold from her cousin to me for $500, which we used as a trade-in.
Yeah, but they gave you credit for $4,366 as a down payment credit.
That was the value of the mobile home. I'm buying something for $500 and trading in for another amount. That's just like a good business transaction.
Your Honor,
Does it make sense? It's a profitable business transaction. If you can buy a car for $200 and sell it for $2,000, that's a smart buy. So that's exactly what I did. I took a smart buy and used it to advance in a better home for me and my children.
Something doesn't sound right, sir.
It doesn't sound
Does it sound right to you? He buys it for $500 from her cousin and then uses it, and they give him a down payment credit of $4,366.
I also gave in a $2,500 cash deposit as well.
On or about June 26, 2001, traded in her 1964 Windsor mobile home as a down payment on a 1998 Horton manufactured home.
Right.
This 1998 Horton manufactured was being purchased by David R. Brown. We gave Miss $4,366 on a down payment credit on the 1998 Horton.
Yes. Now, where's her name? Is that on any of that transaction?
Show that to him.
Your Honor, the reason why my name is not on there because the title was never changed over into my name, but I have a receipt where I purchased the mobile home before I met him.
That's for a different mobile home she's speaking of. And we never used that mobile home as a trade-in. This right here is sufficient. This right here is sufficient. And her name is not on there in that transaction because she has no involvement in the transaction.
I never said my name was on the mobile home, Your Honor.
She gave me these monies in her mobile home, and her name is not on anything. Does that make any sense?
That is my cousin.
Her cousin.
Ah. So they gave Miss $4,366 for the down payment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Forget it. I don't look into that. Your name was not on the title to that mobile home?
No, ma'am.
All right,
At
then
the
forget
time,
it.
I did not have a job, but I have a receipt where I bought the mobile home from Miss.
Show me.
Do you have the receipt?
You mean
up
this?
there?
$500?
Yes, and I also have this right
You
here.
have this? Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's something that you buy in a grocery store.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She won't leave me alone. We broke up, let it go. Yes, she's steady looking for a payout for something she knows she's not owed to.
Mr. Brown, I believe you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Morticia Davis says ex-boyfriend David Brown owes her for the down payment on a mobile home and unpaid video rentals. David says her lawsuit is bogus.
Now, what about this video card?
When I got evicted out the mobile home, he used my Blockbuster
When did he evict
card.
you from the mobile home?
May. She moved out of the home before the eviction took place. So therefore,
What do you mean there was an eviction? Had you gone to court to evict her?
I went to court to evict her.
Why is that?
Because there was South Carolina state law. Once someone established residence in your home, in order for them to move out against their will, you have to evict them out.
All right, so the relationship wasn't going well, I
It
assume.
was downhill from...
Do you have children together?
No, we do not,
No.
thank God.
Perfect. Okay, so what about this video card?
Well, when he got his new girlfriend to evict me, I got some bills in the mail, which he used my card illegally at 3 different Blockbusters, never took the videos back.
Show me. You were evicted in May, is that right? Yes. Well, this is March of 2002.
Thank you.
This is March of 2002.
That's when he used
This
the
is
card,
March
Your
of
Honor.
2002.
And we both
This is
resided.
shh. This is March of 2002, and this is March of 2002. So this
After
was
I got evicted, that's when I got the bills in the mail, which he had used them.
No.
Well, listen to me, Miss Davis.
Yes.
How do what you lived together in March of 2002? You were
He
sharing
was
a
not
home.
there in March,
Quiet.
Your Honor. He was not there. He lived with his new girlfriend until I got evicted.
Lies.
He was
Listen
not
to
there.
me.
Lie.
You kind of.
She's lying, Your Honor.
I don't want to say it again. It doesn't appear as if you're doing badly in this lawsuit so far. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But what can happen is you can lose if you open your mouth again. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any of these movies home, sir?
No, I do not.
He's not going to admit
Do you
to
know
it.
where they are?
The last was left in the home that she was residing in. Now, what she did with him after that, I don't know.
Your Honor, that's not true.
I haven't been back to the house. At the time, I was out the house from late part of March all the way up until April, May.
Now he's
Back in
now
May.
he's
Don't
telling
interrupt him.
Back into May.
All right, you have no case, Miss Davis. That's you. You want to get to your counterclaim? Mr. Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You
doing
said
it-
she owes you bills.
Yes, ma'am.
What does she owe you bills for?
For rent, electric bill.
She doesn't owe you for rent. You weren't anticipating any rent from her.
I loaned her a few $100s for a couple of car note payments.
Yeah, go ahead. What else?
And
Chalk it up to experience. What else?
harassment.
Well, I have a feeling that that's true, that she's been harassing you.
And she just don't.
I have a feeling that that's probably true. So you want to tell me about the harassment?
I mean, she caused problems with me at work. She caused problems with me and my children. I'm a single parent of 2 children. Today is my son's birthday. I should be home with him instead of her in this courtroom. But Ms. Davis again want to file a lawsuit that she know she have no bearing to hold on. So therefore, it's just constantly she won't leave me alone. We broke up, let it go. But yes, she's steady looking for a payout for something she knows she's not owed to.
I believe you. I believe that she has made it her mission at this portion in her life to make your life miserable. That's what I believe. Put your hand down.
Judge
Why can't you just say it didn't work out, period, end of discussion? While you were living together for that year, where were you working?
Interim health care.
Okay.
And I took care of 4 kids.
What did you do with your money?
I paid bills.
What bills?
I have light bills, water bills, phone bills.
He paid the rent.
Yes, that's all he paid was the rent and the land payment.
What about the food?
I got that.
No,
Really?
I was on food stamps, Your Honor.
was not. She was not. And as far as the electric bills and bills, those bills are in my name. And then she couldn't pay those bills. That's why I'm here now about the electric bill and bills that she has now.
Your Honor, I have these bills. Yes, they was in his name, but I paid them.
Show me.
After the fact that I left the house and I had these utilities cut off because she refused to pay them.
You mean after you left in March?
After I left in March. She was running them up in my name. Therefore, I had these bills.
Your Honor, that's not true.
Yeah, this is April. I want to see anything before that, madam, before you were in the house by yourself. You have proof that you paid any bills?
I paid all the bills, Your Honor.
Listen to what I'm saying.
No, Your
to
Honor,
you.
that is all I have.
Right. That I can understand.
And Mr. Brown had those bills in his name because he moved up there before I did. That's why they was in his name.
Pay careful attention to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have a checking account?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So all you have to do was to bring to court today, since you knew that he was counterclaiming for bills.
Your Honor, I didn't know.
Proof? What do you mean you didn't know?
I didn't know he was countersuing me.
Really? When did you file your counterclaim, sir?
Monday.
When did you serve her?
He haven't.
Oh, then it's dismissed. Your counterclaim's dismissed. But not only is your counterclaim dismissed, Mr. Brown, but so is your lawsuit. And I'm going to make this suggestion to you. Sometimes things don't work out. How old are you?
I'm 24.
You have children?
I have 2. I'm a single parent.
Put a period, this is over, and devote all of your energies to working and your 2 children. Leave him alone. He doesn't owe you any money. Goodbye.
I don't harass him, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He jumped on me twice, and the mobile home was mine, which I didn't have the title with me.
Many a times she had me arrested for domestic criminal violence, something that I didn't do.
He's not going to do anything without being in the courtroom because he thinks he can get away with a lot of stuff.
She came in here, Judge Judy seen between the lies and what she was trying to tell, didn't get nothing. Justice was served for the first time.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Robinson versus Bradford. Step forward, please.
Psychotherapist Cliff Robinson is suing his former friend, lab technician Angela Bradford, for the cost to repair his car window. Angela is countersuing also for the cost of a car window.
Mr. Robinson, it is your claim that the defendant's son broke a window in your car, that the defendant, who was a friend of yours, agreed to fix it and did not pay you the money that it cost you to fix this rear window. Was it a rear window of your car?
Rear quarter panel, yes.
Ms. Bradford says, I think she's saying that she had initially agreed to pay for the window. Is that right?
That is correct.
But later, your son broke one of her windows in her car, and you should pay for that window. Is that your defense?
It is.
So let's make this as simple as we can, because Bird knows that I like to keep things simple. How much was the window in your car, Mr. Robinson?
The window itself, Your Honor, came to $972.29.
Let me see.
I have pictures and the estimate.
Well, I'm just curious because in here you say that my window cost $800 to replace, sir.
That's with the labor and what it cost to.
What did it cost you?
$972, whatever the difference was.
How did you pay for this?
Cash.
No. Not even sure about this bill. What kind of window was this?
It's a rear quarter panel window in the Eddie Bauer Expedition.
Oh, so it's a big window.
It's a big window.
Okay. Now, the only question that I have is whether or not you are in any way responsible for damage that she alleges your son did to her window. So, Ms. Bradford, I read your answer and I read your cross-complaint. And it appeared to me that you two were friends.
Correct.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
And there came a time when, after this incident involving his car, he brought his kids over to your house to play.
Correct.
And asked you if you would watch his kids for a while.
For 15 minutes, which turned into an hour and a half.
Whatever. You agreed to take care of his children. And it was while you were in charge of his children that your car window was broken.
Correct.
Should have taken care of him better. Do you understand?
I hear exactly what you're saying.
Okay. Because it was your job to supervise the children, because you had assumed that responsibility when he left his kids there. Therefore, if something happened to your car as a result of a ball being thrown, that's your problem, not his. It's a lot of money. Do you have any insurance, sir?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Well, what's your deductible?
$1,000.
Do you have any proof that you have a $1,000 deductible?
I didn't bring any insurance with the information.
Why is that?
I didn't think it was relevant.
Well, it is relevant, sir. It's relevant how much out-of-pocket you had. Are you telling me that you actually paid Collins Auto Glass $972 in
That's
cash?
correct.
Let's give them a call and find out. You know these people?
No, I don't.
They were just people you chose randomly?
That's correct.
Okay, good. In Seattle, Washington, for Collins Auto Glass. So there is no Collins Auto Glass in Seattle. Mr. Robinson, sir, is this Collins Auto Glass in Seattle?
Yes, it is.
Well, they don't have a listing for them in Seattle, sir.
Well, I know in...
They don't have a listing for them in Seattle, Washington. There is a phone number on here, sir. 206 number? There is a phone number here. It's your phone number. The only phone number that appears on this is your phone number.
Yeah, my information is on there, and then in the... I don't know.
Show it to him.
Yeah, that's my telephone number.
That's correct.
Oh, yeah, no. I
Collins Auto Glass doesn't have a phone number for their business. They also don't know how to spell residential.
Well, I know in June, when I got it fixed, there was a Collins Auto Glass. I got it out of the Yellow Pages.
Well, it must have been their last job, Mr. Robinson, because they closed down. They're not there anymore. Sort of interesting. But I'm holding you to what your complaint says. So your sworn complaint says it was $800 to replace. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. On your counterclaim, Ms. Bradford, I've already explained to you the children were under your supervision when your car window got broken. So if you weren't supervising them adequately, I can't fault him for that. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Did folks have a seat?
Mr. Simons, a relatively simple case. You want the engagement ring back. Is that right?
Yes, please.
And Ms. Ream, I've read your answer. And it's sort of like one from column A, one from column B. You have the following defenses, according to what I read. Number one, it wasn't an engagement ring because you never said yes.
Yes.
If you don't buy that, it was an engagement ring, but he told you you should keep it even if you didn't get married, correct?
Yes.
And number three, in case you don't buy those two, it was an engagement ring, there was no deal for me to keep it, I would have given it back, but it got stolen.
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't have it anymore.
No, ma'am.
Is that right? When did you give her the ring?
I think it was May of 2001.
And how long had you known her?
I met her in November. I knew her approximately 6 months and gave her the ring.
Okay, what kind of a ring was it?
It was an engagement ring.
Can I see the receipt for it?
I have the receipt. Plus, Your Honor, at the time, I had just moved, and I didn't have the receipt for the second half of the ring, but I've found that, and I've got that. So here are those two receipts.
What do you mean the second half of the ring?
You know, the band that goes, connects as one.
Oh, you mean the wedding band?
Yeah, yes. Yes, ma'am, yes. And that's the other half that I still have, which does mean no good.
Okay, where is this? Did you give her both of these rings?
No.
You have one?
I have one, yes.
Okay, so it's $969.75.
Yes, Judge, yes.
Okay. So you gave it to her in May, and you broke up when?
Around July, things started falling apart.
July of?
2001.
2001. When did you ask for the ring back?
Around August, I believe, the end of July.
What'd she tell you?
She agreed. We both agreed that it wasn't going to work out, and I went to pick up the ring. She had told me that she let some carpet cleaning people into her house, and she was afraid to be alone with these men. So she left. And when I got there, she went to get the ring. It was gone. It's funny because there was lots of jewelry, diamonds, everything, but they only took mine, my little ring. And I couldn't understand that. That didn't make sense to me.
Okay. Just a second. So you broke up in July, and it was a month later that you went over to get the ring.
Correct.
But you had asked for it when?
Probably the end of July.
Okay, and she said come over in August.
Yes. Well, she kept saying it might work, I hope it works, it might work, it may not work. So we tried, and it wasn't going anywhere.
Okay. Now I'll hear you.
Like it said, I lost my husband prior to that, and I was very vulnerable. And
I'm not interested in that.
Okay,
I mean, not that I'm insensitive,
okay,
madam. It has
okay.
nothing to do with the ring.
But, okay, well, we started dating, and I told him I wasn't ready to get married. And he got pushy about the ring. And then he asked me to marry him in May, and I told him I wasn't ready. And then he said, keep it as a gift. And think about it.
All right, let's just say nothing. Say nothing. I don't believe that. Go to the next defense.
Okay, I put it into my jewelry box for safekeeping, and so then, like he said, I had the cleaners come. I had to go pick up my daughter from school. It should have only taken 15 to 20 minutes, and so I went to pick her up, came back, and there was some coins and a little bit of jewelry missing, and the ring, and he made me call the police, and we made a police report. It's right here, and it couldn't be an engagement ring because he dated other women. He verbally abused me. He verbally abused my daughter.
I'm not interested.
Okay, but it just was an engagement ring.
Sure, it was an engagement ring. It was an engagement ring because he bought not only the ring, he bought the wedding band.
I told him I wasn't ready to get married. He told me to keep it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You owe him $975. Let me explain something to you. If you have a ring, and if you break up with him, and if you're not going to see him anymore, you give him back the ring. Case closed.
I tried to.
Case closed. In July, you don't hold on to it and put it in a box for safekeeping. That is, if in fact you put it in a box for safekeeping and you didn't go sell it someplace, which I think you probably did, or you still have it and maybe you're going to give it to your daughter or somebody else. In the meantime, if it doesn't work out, why should he feel as if you've taken advantage of him? Why?
It was the other way. He told me he needed money for tires. Constantly always after me for money, all the time. That's what this is all about. He just told me he's going to take me to court to get tires because he needs new tires and because he just bought another house.
Listen to me very carefully, madam.
He's taken advantage of me from the very beginning.
Then how old are you?
I'm 38, but I'm very well put together. At the time, I wasn't. I was distraught.
Listen to me. You don't look like the kind of person that anybody takes advantage of.
I just lost my husband, and my mom got diagnosed with cancer, and he knew this.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If you were grieving over your husband, you don't take a ring from somebody else.
I know that. I know that now.
But you did. But you did.
Made a mistake.
And by taking a ring from somebody, what you're really saying is, I'm interested. I'm interested. That's leading somebody on. That's cruel. That's unkind. And in my judgment, after listening to both of these stories and hearing your three defenses, A, I didn't say yes. B, if I said yes, he told me to keep it anyway, even if we broke up. And C, it got stolen. I don't believe you. After he came over and looked for the ring, you said, I'm sorry, my other stuff is here, but your ring is gone. He said, well, file a police report, which is what you did, correct? Anywhere in the police report did it say that there was evidence of a burglary?
Yes.
Well, show me. Show me where. No, read it where it says there was evidence of burglary.
Right here on the top, it says crime, burglary.
Show me where the police wrote down that there was evidence of a burglary, not what you claimed there was.
It doesn't say burglary, but it says she opened the top drawer and discovered her ring missing.
Right, that's what you said. That's not what
That's what he said.
No,
he also did this police report with me.
Miss Reed, I mean, are you just thick? He comes over to get his ring. You go in with him to your drawer. You open the drawer with him. You say, oh, your ring must have been taken, along with some other coins that I might have there. That's too bad. Then you go and file a police report because he says, according to you, that you should go and file a police report, which is what you did. That doesn't mean the police found any evidence of a burglary because there was no burglary. You have insurance, by the way?
Whatever.
You have insurance on your other jewelry?
No, I don't.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of the ring, which was $969.75. Ms. Ream, I don't believe you. Goodbye.
You don't
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He was always telling me to buy him things and stuff like that and saying, well, you got money, you got money.
I own 2 homes, and she told me to sell my homes and give her all my money.
He sues everybody. This is not his first time he sued somebody. He's sue happy.
She used to call me on the phone and threaten me and tell me if I go to court, I'll be sorry.
He's a liar, and he took advantage, and he knows it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Smith versus Henderson. Step forward, please.
Maintenance man Joe Smith is suing his former live-in lover, paratransit driver Lisa Henderson, for the return of property. Lisa is countersuing for damages to her home and mental anguish.
According to your complaint, you folks lived together for about 4 years. And at some point, Mr. Smith, you were arrested on a domestic violence charge. Either domestic violence or violating a protective order that Ms. Henderson had obtained. It is your claim that while you were incarcerated, she took your property and she won't give it back to you. You did get some of your property, but she still has a whole bunch of your stuff.
Correct.
That's what your lawsuit is about. Ms. Henderson says that you got everything that you're entitled to. What you didn't take yourself, an uncle of yours came and picked up. And she is counterclaiming for some damage that you did to her door when you were violating this protective order. So that's what we have. When were you arrested, Mr. Smith, for the first time on this charge of domestic violence?
That was like almost 4 years ago. I don't remember the exact date.
That's not the time that you took your property.
Yes, that's the previous time. It happened twice.
How many times have you been arrested altogether for domestic violence?
Once.
No, it had to be more than once. You said once 4 years ago, once more recently.
No, this was for violating a restraining order for just going to the residence. There wasn't any violence involved.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was charged twice. One for holding me captive in my apartment when I was 6 months pregnant in January of 2000. And he was convicted of that charge. We got back together.
A testament to your good judgment.
Yeah. October 17th of last year, I had a restraining order issued to him. 2 hours and 15 minutes later, after he was served, he kicked in the front door.
Now, why was another protective order issued in October of 2002?
Because we were not getting along in the household. I asked Mr. Smith to leave my house. He was...
How long had he been living there?
For like 4 months. And we were not getting along.
So he's living there for 4 months. You weren't getting along. But no violence.
No. The police had to come out one incident in September where he threatened to put a hit out on me. Before that, he said he doesn't like my son and he never will. So I said, you need to get your belongings and get up out of my house. If you don't like my son, you don't care for me.
What happened in October?
I asked him to give him a certain amount of time to get his personal belongings and give him enough time to move out.
Did she do that?
No.
No,
Just a second, don't interrupt. She didn't say to you have a week or 2 days or 48
she said,
hours?
Get out right now.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We split everything in the household.
So he paid his way. So he wasn't just coming to visit on weekends, right?
Right.
Well, that's not what you say in here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joe Smith says ex-girlfriend Lisa Henderson won't return his property. Lisa says Joe threatened to put a hit out on her.
What did you do when she told you to get out?
I told her I couldn't because I had just paid my rent, PG&E, and cable, and I have the receipts for that.
So you were paying the bills?
Yes.
Some of the bills at least there. So you said, I'm not leaving because I'm paid up through November 1st.
Actually, I told her I couldn't afford it because I just put my money into the household.
Okay.
But you told me you...
Shh, don't speak to him. Speak to me. So that was the conversation. He said, I'm not leaving right now. And what did you say to him?
I told him he needs to be out of my house within that Friday. He sits around bragging that he got so many women to take care of him. So I said, call one of them up, tell them to back their car up in here and get your things up out of my house.
And he said what?
He said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm a legal resident. I'm not going nowhere. You have to get me out legally.
Okay.
So the next day, I went and filed for a restraining order.
Well, Ms. Henderson, that's a violation of really what the restraining order is supposed to be about, madam. A restraining order is not something that you use instead of housing court. You had a discussion, you had an argument, you said get out and leave, and he said I'm not leaving. And you said no, you're going to leave, and he said get me out a legal way, and you said what's the best legal way for me to get out? I'll just go and tell somebody he threatened me. And you fill out a paper and you lie, because so far I haven't heard anything about a threat. And a judge looks at it and issues a restraining order. That's an abuse of what a restraining order is supposed to be. I'm here to tell you that. You can't use it in place of housing court that may take a little more time. So I'm sure you knew housing court would take a little more time, so you say restraining order, that takes a flash, and he's out. So then he's annoyed, because you get this restraining order and you lied to the judge when you got it.
No.
Yeah, sure you did. You had to have written something down that wasn't true.
When he threatened to put a hit out on me.
That was before.
I had the police come out for a report.
That was before. You were not annoyed about that. You were annoyed because he was bragging about other women and your son, and you wanted him out of the house. Come on, Miss Henderson. So you got the restraining order, and then what did you do?
I had Mr. Smith served.
And then what happened?
And 2 hours and 15 minutes later, he came to the house and kicked the door in and threw the restraining order back in the house.
You have a copy of the papers that you used to get the restraining order? Can I see the checks that you wrote for any of the bills in the apartment, Mr.
Yes,
Smith,
ma'am.
please? How much money did he give you towards rent every month?
$100, sometime $97.
Did you pay the cable bill?
Sometime. Sometime
Well,
I
he paid in September, he paid in August, he paid in May.
We split everything in the household.
So he paid his way. So he wasn't just coming to visit on weekends, right?
Right.
Well, that's not what you say in here, in your statement to the police. Sometimes I will allow him to stay a weekend or a few days because we were getting along, but then he won't leave. Well, that's not true.
Right, Mr. Smith got evicted and asked me to come help him when he got evicted out of his place in Cutting. Our agreement was he was supposed to stay so long to save up enough money so he can get his own place.
Well, that's not months and months where he's paying half the rent, paying half the bills, cutting everything in half. So he is a tenant there.
Right.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
I want you to tell me, sir, what items do you claim that Miss Henderson has that belong to you?
Everything on my list that I have here.
Well, let me take a look at the list.
Okay. It's quite a bit. You might want to take a recess.
Show this to her, would you please, Bert?
No, I have my list, Your Honor. And this is the list that we had in November 22nd when he was incarcerated, and he gave it to me.
Who wrote that list?
He did.
Oh, then let me see that
and
list.
he got a different total from what he has on there.
Oh, fine. Then let me take a look. And the check, and what you've crossed out is?
The things that I gave to Larry in November.
So you still have the other things?
Because those are the things that he gave to me by him bringing it into the household, which is a gift to me.
No, it's not a gift. None of these things are gifts. I want you to listen to me. None of these things are gifts. Everything on this list that he prepared, so I won't look at this list. This is the list he prepared. You make sure are boxed up because he's going to send somebody to get them. Do you understand?
Yes.
No fooling around. Listen to me. If you're frightened enough of somebody to seek the court's assistance in getting a restraining order against them, you want everything that you have that might cause them irritation out of the house. You didn't have these things before he moved back. Now you're going to give them back to him, and the only contact you're going to have with him is over visitation or contact with a child that you share in common. So stop acting stupid.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Now let's talk about him busting down your door. He knocked down the door, Miss Henderson. Was that after you had him served with the protective order in October?
Yes.
Then he, I don't think that was the right thing to do, to knock down the door. It also wasn't the right thing to do to file a false police report, which you did. So you do not get your door fixed as a lesson not to abuse the court system. That's it. Go.
346 on the calendar in the matter of Miller versus Hastings, Washington. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Who are you?
Brenda Hastings. I'm Michelle's mother.
How old is Michelle?
17.
Okay. Miss Miller, Michelle is your son's girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're really suing your son and his girlfriend. Her mother is here because she's a minor.
Yes, ma'am.
It appears from what I've read that you decided to rent a house. You were separating from your husband or something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that your son and his girlfriend said that they wanted to come and live with you. You say that this didn't work out, but they owe you for back rent. They owe you for money that they put on your credit card. They have a counterclaim. And their counterclaim involves both of their cars, which they say that you took, you hid, and caused damage to.
No, ma'am.
So that's what the case is about. Very complicated. When did you decide to rent this house?
About the second week of September.
And what was the rent on the house?
$575 a month.
And what was your arrangement with your son and his girlfriend?
I had planned on moving. My husband and I were just going to separate for a little while to work out some differences. There was a duplex that I had been waiting on that was around the corner from the house. My 15-year-old son had told Charlie here that we were moving, and Charlie indicated to him that he needed a place to go. He was tired of the stuff at Brenda's house. I had talked to Charlie.
He had been living with you? Is that right? How old are you?
19.
I had talked to Charlie and told him that was fine. There was no mention of Michelle at the time. That came up later with Charlie saying that she don't really act like she acts, but she'll act better when she's not around her mother. I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, we'll give it a try.
And this is a lot of information that I really don't need.
Okay. Well, I went up and asked the landlord, and the landlord said they were renting it.
Oh, okay, fine. So you decided to rent it, and you decided to let the two of them move in with you.
Right.
And what was the financial arrangement with them?
We would go on the rent 3 ways.
Did you discuss that with her mother?
No, ma'am.
And you knew she was 17?
Her mother had put her out. They wanted both. They had asked several times for both of these to put them out. And my young son here, Derek,
Miss Miller,
can tell you.
That's not my question. My question was, you knew that Michelle was 17.
Yes, I did.
Okay, Michelle cannot enter into a contract with you because she's a minor. So if you did not have an agreement with her mother to pay a third of the rent, you cannot sue Michelle for a third of any rent that you believe she owes you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's do away with that. So let's deal with your son. Did your son give you any money towards the rent?
No, ma'am. He gave me $150 to help put on deposits on the utilities.
So he gave you $150?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did they live in the house?
6 weeks.
3 weeks.
6 weeks.
And when did you move out of the house?
The 28th.
Of September?
Yes, ma'am.
Charlie did not move out of that house until the 10th of October.
I moved out the 28th.
You stayed there. You were on the run from the police.
Shh, just a second. Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
What rent do you believe your son owes you?
For him and Michelle, then it should have been half of the $575.
No. Miss Miller. He's supposed to pay a third of the rent, right?
Right. But I have a 15-year-old at home that these two here complained what was his part of the rent because he was getting child support.
Did you move in with another child?
The 15-year-old moved in shortly after these two did. He didn't stay there all the time, but he was there.
What about you? Did you move in?
I didn't move in until the 24th of
September. September?
No, August. Oh, no, it was September. I'm sorry. I didn't even stay there half of the time.
Miss Miller,
stayed maybe a whole week
Miss
out of
Miller, did you move in August 24th or September 24th?
September 24th.
Okay, well, let's go to the credit cards that you say that they used. How did they come to have possession of your credit cards?
They didn't have possessions. We had an agreement. I have a letter from the landlord because Mrs. Hastings was putting them out. We had an agreement to try to get the house livable for them to live in so they had a roof over their heads.
And you're talking about credit cards, Miss Miller. Let me hear about the credit cards money.
I put my credit cards, to get the house in order for them to live in, it had to have floors, it had to have cabinets, it had to have everything. The house was gutted out. It had to have everything.
So is that what was put on your credit card?
Yes.
So why do you think they should pay for that?
because we're in agreement. If Mrs. Hastings put them out.
Negative.
Stop saying Mrs. Hastings put them out. It doesn't make any difference whether she put them out or not. Now, am I correct?
It does make a difference.
No,
Yes,
it doesn't make a difference legally.
Her mother put them out. He didn't have a place to go. He cannot go to my house that I own. My husband will not let him stay there. He's already ripped us off. He's breaking into the house. He's broken into the garage. He's not allowed on the property. Okay?
Ms. Miller.
I did what I could to get him a roof over his head.
Ms. Miller, you're his mother. Listen to me. You're his mother.
Excuse me, ma'am. But this boy, I've got papers. This boy has been in and out of jail, detentions. He was stolen from me when he was 14 months old. I've got legal documents, Charlie, to prove it all.
Miss Miller.
He's on drugs. I've tried for years to get him help, okay?
Miss Miller, listen to me. I understand that you have a frustration with him.
If you helped him out as much as I have in a lifetime, you would too.
Miss Miller, listen to me. If Miss Hastings allowed your son to come and live in her house with her 17-year-old daughter, then she's got rocks in her head and probably decided she had had enough. Bottom line, that's your son. It's not her son. And if she had had enough of him and was putting him out, and her daughter Michelle says, I'm not staying here without him, then she says, you want to go with him? Go with him.
He's been living there with her since she was 15 and he was 17.
You want to know something?
And she's put him out 3 times.
Miss Miller.
I have been there.
Miss Miller. Miss Miller.
Yeah, okay.
Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son. And if she's put him out 3 times, and if he was living there from the time he was 17 years old, it had to have been because you and your husband put him out.
Exactly.
No, he left on it. No, you left on your own
Miss
because
Miller,
you
don't
were
talk
on
to him.
drugs, Charlie.
Miss
He was
Miller,
selling drugs
1, 2,
out of my
3.
house.
Miss Miller.
And I called the police
Put her
on you.
outside.
That's why you left.
Put her outside. I'm going to let you cool off outside, Miss Miller.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Atina Miller says her son Charlie Washington, his girlfriend Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother Brenda owe for rent and repairs to her home.
Okay. Miss Miller, you can't talk to your son. This is not time for you to shout at your son when you're in a court. Time to do that is when you had him in therapy when he was 7 years old. If your son has been giving you problems and moved out of your house, whether you put him out of your house or whether he left voluntarily, you knew where he was living with the Hastings family and their daughter. That was probably a major error on their part. Some people do that. I never quite understand why they take in somebody else's problem into their home. But be that as it may, if you decided that you wanted to put a roof over your son's head as his mother, that's what your job is. That kind of unconditional love is what you do for a child, even if they drive you crazy. Are you currently living in the house?
No, ma'am.
Did you decide to go back to your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you are now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you're going to stay, you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the cars. You took your son's car out of impound?
I paid to get it out, yes, ma'am.
What'd you do with it?
Set it in my backyard.
And what happened to it?
It sat there until the day that he came and threatened me. And then I took it down on the corner where I told him and the police officer that I would set it and left the keys in it, that in the Nissan.
And somebody stole it?
I don't know.
Well, it wasn't found on the corner, is that right?
I don't know where they found it at.
Where did you find your car?
I found mine in a ditch on Orville Smith.
It was not in a ditch. I got pictures of where I left it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what you're saying is somebody took the car after you left it there with the keys in it. Why'd you leave it there with the keys in it?
There was no keys in it.
There was keys in it.
Crazy.
When you left it, the keys were in it. So I'm asking you, why did you leave it with the keys in the car?
He came, he harassed me. I didn't want him on the property. And for him to come get the keys, then he would have to come on the property. And I talked to him in the back of the police car and told him.
What were the police doing there?
I called him because he threatened me.
When did he threaten you?
When he came to the house.
Was this after he had moved out of the rental house?
No, he was in jail. He had just gotten out October 31st, and I didn't know he was out of jail.
What was he in jail for?
Theft of property from an auto and breaking and entering of an auto.
What were you in jail for?
Assault the third.
He was also in jail for that.
Assault the third.
Who did you assault?
My girlfriend.
You ever arrested for breaking and entering?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
in 97.
What about auto theft?
Yes, ma'am.
So you got his car out of impound, you told the police he had threatened you, you were taking the car, you were parking it at the corner, you were leaving the keys in the car, and that's the last you know of the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And you found the car when you got out of jail, sir?
I did.
Where did you find it?
It's on Orville Smith Road. She parked it in the edge of the woods.
No, she doesn't park it anywhere. You found it there. You didn't see
found it there.
You found it there.
I got out and I looked and I turned around and I went back to my house. And I brought him down there and he couldn't find no keys nowhere in the car.
Well, maybe somebody who stole the car took the keys after they finished joyriding in the car. What about your car?
Well, my mother and my father found it in a hayfield.
What makes you think that Miss Miller took your car?
Because she stole the keys out of my purse. I didn't have it in my possession.
No, I did not steal the keys from her purse. This key goes to a car of Charlie's that he has in their yard. I don't know if it runs or not, but it was on this key ring with this key. And when I talked to Charlie on the phone after he had beat up Michelle, he told me one of them keys went to the car. And that's how I got the car.
So what did you do with the car?
Charlie explained for me to take the car to my house and park it and not to let Michelle have the car.
You mean her car?
No, it's his car. It's legally in his name.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is your car, the car that you're talking about, that you're suing over, in whose name is that car titled?
His.
You have two cars titled in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
What year cars are they?
94 and 87.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was working at Arby's.
At Arby's? Who bought the cars?
I bought one, she bought one. But she wasn't old enough to put it in her name, so I signed for it.
Why didn't her mother sign for it?
Because they went and got it without me. I was at work. They went looking at cars. They picked out one and she bought it.
Miss Hastings,
yes.
Is he still living in your house?
He is right now, yeah.
You had him arrested for beating up your daughter. You've thrown him out of your house at least 3 times.
No.
No.
He left your house 3 times in the last 2 years. You took him into his house, into your house when he was 17 years old. Since he was 17 years old, he's been arrested several times, according to him, for a variety of things. Breaking and entering, auto theft, assaulting your daughter. Would you kindly tell me what kind of medication you're on? Because I want to take some. If you don't see that he's not right for her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Bettina Miller says her son Charlie Washington, his girlfriend Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother Brenda owe for rent and repairs to her home.
Miss Hastings, he's not right for her.
He may not be right for her, but everybody has to make their own choices. And
hey. Everybody has to make their own choices once they're an adult. Until you're an adult, your parents help you make those choices, and they don't do things that encourage you to make bad choices.
Well, Tina has put her son out several times.
Tina's son is a bum. Was your daughter a bum when she was 15?
No, my daughter was in school when she was 15.
Is she still in school?
She's going to night classes.
No. Before she met him, she was in school.
Yeah, but she...
After she met him, she's not in school.
Had nothing to do with him.
Oh, listen, Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you some words of advice. Is this the first child that you've had that's been in trouble?
Yes, ma'am.
You think you know how to deal with it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you're dealing with it.
I work with it the best I can.
My advice to you is you be there as a backup in case of an emergency, in case something bad happens. But until he grows up and stops doing things that are both harmful to himself, to the people that care about him, and to you, he's going to have to make his own mistakes. If you put yourself in a financial position where you've stretched your finances, it's a foolish thing to do. Because what will happen is he will never be forced to grow up. You tell me you put him out of the house, or he left the house when he was 15. The Hastings took him in. And when the Hastings decided to put him out, you provided a roof over his head. He's never had to grow up and face responsibility. Had 2 cars titled in his name, working at Arby's.
Well, he didn't buy the car. The Firebird was given to him as a gift by me and my husband. I did not put him out of the house. He had a choice. He could go to jail or he could go back to Michigan to his dad. He took off on his own. He was on the run. We did look for him. He stayed with a friend of his up in a trailer, drinking, getting high. The owner of the trailer came to our house, wanted to know what was up. We went up there. He was gone.
Okay. Ms. Hastings, I've already told you what I think of the fact that you allowed him to move back into your house after he beat up your daughter. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Absolutely the dumbest. And if your daughter wants to be dumb enough to take off with him, as you said, people make their own choices, but you're making it real comfortable for her to do things that ultimately are going to be devastating.
It doesn't matter in what they have done. I mean, it's the car situation. It's her having them to move into a rental house because her marriage, she moved out.
Listen to me. I'm not dealing with your lawsuits. Both of your lawsuits are nonsense. Hers, she cannot convince me that her son owes her any money. With regard to the cars, you have no proof whatsoever that your mother took your car, put it in a ditch. She says that after an argument with you, she told the police, I'm putting the car on the street corner with the keys in it. I don't want him anywhere near my house. A reasonable explanation is that somebody walked by, saw the keys in the car, took it for a joyride, and trashed it. I think that both of you, but especially you, Miss Hastings, I don't understand you at all. What do you do all day, sir?
Now,
Now.
go to school
No, you don't.
at night.
I asked you what you did during the day. Don't tell me that you go to school at night. What do you do all day?
Hunt for jobs.
Hunt for jobs. Michelle, what do you do all day?
Work.
Where?
At Walmart.
You work 5 days a week?
8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
And you come home and he's watching TV? Michelle, look at me. You come home and he's watching TV?
I don't know what he does during the day.
Michelle, before you get pregnant, get smart. You'll be working at Walmart, 9 months pregnant, and he's going to be sitting home playing with Nintendo that you will have bought him for Christmas. Get smart. Cases are dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may count in the matter of Griffin versus Moore.
Thank you, Bert.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
According to your complaint, you and the defendant met when I believe her husband and your son were incarcerated together.
Yes, ma'am.
Your complaint alleges that you developed a friendship and you allowed the defendant to charge certain items on your credit card with the agreement that she would repay you or pay the bill as it came in. Initially she did, then she stopped. And you allege that when she stopped paying, she owed you $842.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So when did you first meet the defendant?
I think approximately about a year ago. My son was incarcerated, and he was her husband's roommate. So we became good friends, and we would go shopping at the Avenue, and every time she would charge anything, she was so good about paying it. I mean, it was probably most of the time before it even became due. When my son got out of incarceration, she had a type of attraction to my son. It became almost impossible for me to have conversations with her because I did not want to be in the middle.
Your Honor, that's not the truth.
Just a second.
And after a lot of harassing phone calls, I had asked to quit because I couldn't take it anymore. Then at that time, she refused to pay for what was left to be owed on my credit cards.
What was left?
This is the deposits of as far back as we started this. These are all that she's charged, all she's paid, what she owes is left.
So she paid on time until October?
Yes, ma'am, till the end of October.
Okay, now I'll hear you.
What she said is correct as far as our friendship. Her son was incarcerated with my husband. When things went bad was because her son had a drug problem. And I tried to help him.
Your Honor, this is irrelevant.
Just a second.
Her son asked me for a ride to the interstate. I took him to my house instead of the interstate. Miss Griffin got to my house before we did. Basically, her son had took a video camera from her. She had searched her son's coat. She pulled out the camera. So then she left, and her son was still there with me. I then took her son to his girlfriend that lived in Charleston, and that's when his mother, she turned against me. She told me our friendship was over because I tried to help her son.
What date was that?
Ma'am, to be honest with you, I'm not sure.
Okay. She says that you did not pay the October bill, which
Ma'am,
is
I have
800.
I have a check.
Which is 800. Listen to me.
Okay.
Which is $846.05.
Yes, ma'am, I understand
the
that.
October bill. Okay, let me see.
And I'm not denying that there were credit card charges. There were. I have a check from State Street Bank that was given, that it was a 401k check that I received from my employer. I have a copy of the front and back of that check that I gave her permission to go get out of my post office box and endorse and deposit into her account. She gave me $368 back.
May I see it, please?
And I have it where she endorsed my name and her name on the back. That's not my signature. Because at the time I was on a medical leave, she knew that my money was a little tight. I told her to take the check to pay for the bills because I never missed paying her.
I'm just trying to find the date on this, when she endorsed it.
It was on 10/27 on my, it's on, I think, the second or third page of my bank account statements. And you'll see right next to it where I cashed a check for the exact amount and gave it to Miss Moore at my home right in front of my husband. He'll be a witness to that.
Her husband has never been present.
Just a second.
We've made any charges or any money exchange.
Just a second. So what you're telling me, Miss Griffin, is that at the time your friendship was coming to an end, the defendant gave you a check, which you did in fact cash, in the amount of $1,012.99.
Yes, ma'am.
And you gave her the entire amount of money.
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't make sense to me, Miss Griffin.
That weekend, Miss Moore came to my house.
Yeah.
I gave her the full amount of cash, handed it to her.
Right.
She said she wanted to give me $300 because she had a rainbow rental or something that was pressing and had to be paid. And she said when she got her check on Tuesday...
Let me see the rest of her papers, please.
When she got the rest of her check on Tuesday, that she would take care of the rest of it.
Your Honor, I could have...
And the whole time Miss Moore was out on disability...
Just a second.
I could have cashed that check myself.
I cashed her check because she did not have a bank account at that time. I took care of things for her. She had some drug problem, and she tried to commit suicide.
Not interested in that.
Well,
Your
I mean,
Honor,
I
that
was
is
there
not true.
taking
I
care
have
of her. I didn't want to turn my back on her.
Your Honor, that is...
Were there any witnesses present to the transfer of this $1,012 to Miss Moore
My
on the
husband,
27th?
Michael Griffin, was there.
See here?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor, he was never present during any of these things.
Just a second.
It was just me and her.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Moore wanted to meet with my wife at our home because whoever she was seeing for therapeutic reasons told her to come to closure between Kevin and Nancy. And I was standing right there in my bedroom. She was sitting in the blue chair to the left of my bed when Nancy handed her $1,012 and change, and Rebecca handed her back $300 to redeposit in Nancy's account.
No, ma'am, that is not true. Mr.
And-
Griffin was never
Now,
present
just a
during
second.
any of these transactions.
Just a second. I don't see whether she was given credit for the $300.
On the first page, every deposit that she made to me is on the left. Every bill that I wrote to the Avenue or any of my other credit cards
So is what you're telling
to the right.
Is what you're telling me that at the time she made these purchases in October, she still had an outstanding bill to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor,
She made-
also Mrs. Griffin shopped along with me, and she had stuff on that bill as well, where our stuff was added together and not separately.
That's wrong, Your Honor. If you look at my receipts, I've been very careful, and she had one receipt, and I had one receipt.
Always a big mistake.
Your Honor, and
You know, you understand this is always a big mistake to do.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Miss Griffin, who it appears over an extended period of time, had been very good to you financially by allowing you to make these purchases when you didn't have the cash to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Would all of a sudden say that you have an outstanding bill to her of $846 when you didn't?
Your Honor, like I said, when our friendship separated, it was due to the fact that her son stole from me and he went to jail for a drug
That's
charge.
untrue, Your
And
Honor.
I have the police report here. That's when mine and her friendship went sour, because her son came to me, he asked me for help. He spent 3 days at my home when she didn't know where he was. When I told her that he had been at my home, she got very upset with me for not contacting her.
What date was that?
Oh, it was before Halloween.
11/3.
So it was after this?
No, this was the weekend prior to 11/3.
Was it before or after the $1,000 check was cashed by the plaintiff?
This was after.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. We were still very much a part of each other's lives at that time. She had continued to call. I said, please do not call me anymore. I got so upset that I wound up in the hospital on her last phone call.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I believe you, sir. Listen to me. I believe you, sir, when you indicate that $1,012 was passed. Were you present when $300 was given to your wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
How was that given?
In cash.
$100 bill?
Rebecca, pardon me, Your Honor. Rebecca handed back cash, $300 cash to Nancy.
Not true, Your Honor. That is not true. And I have somebody
You have
here
your
with-
bank records with you?
No, because at the time I did not have a bank account. She was correct about that. I did not have a bank account. But I could have cashed that check myself through my employer's bank.
But you didn't.
But I always cash
You
my
didn't.
checks by myself. She
You
never
said
did
you
it
had a
before.
witness. I'll hear your witness if your witness has anything germane. If he does.
Yes,
What is
ma'am.
your name?
Alan Young. I've been a friend of Rebecca's for 15 years. Becca asked me would I give her a loan of $300 because she owed Mrs. Griffith some money. She borrowed money from me that night because she said she had to pay on her rent or something. So I kind of believed her.
What is your rent, Ms. Moore?
$385.
Well, even if she took all the money she owed you, you still have the $300 for rent.
I understand
So why did you
that.
need to borrow money from him for?
Because I had additional bills that I owed for besides paying her, but I wanted to pay her and have her out of the way because I always paid her before the bills were due.
Do you have the statement from your account, Ms. Griffin, as to what payments you made on the account in November?
Yes, ma'am, that would be right. And those payments there, I'll be glad
I
to
see.
show
You
them to
made a deposit on the 30th of October.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, she was paid in full when she received that check.
No, ma'am, I was not.
Yes, you were.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because I see no other basis for her depositing only $300 into her checking account on the 30th
Well, Your
of
Honor,
October.
I can't help if that's the only thing she deposited. She was paid.
I have to make a determination based upon evidence. The evidence indicates that on or about the time that that check was cashed, she did deposit $300 into her account. So I'm entering a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $842. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The jail Monday.
She is married, and at the time I had a fiance.
I lost a friendship on kind of her son's drug problem.
She knew that, and she was still coming on to me.
She can't rule everybody.
And now the next case.
All parties on Gregorian versus Scaturio. Step forward, please.
23-year-old cashier Mariam Gregorian is suing former live-in boyfriend, 23-year-old salesman Scott Scaturio, for his share of a security deposit. Scott is countersuing for the cost to rent a U-Haul, storage costs, and harassment.
Ms. Gregorian, you and the defendant lived together. Were you boyfriend and girlfriend at the time? According to your complaint, you had an arrangement with the defendant that since he had no money, you would put down a security deposit on the apartment, and he was to reimburse you for half.
For half, yes.
And half of the security deposit was $600?
Yes.
And you also say that the time that you left the apartment, because he was threatening, you gave him an additional $200.
For April's month's rent, yes.
So he says that you actually owe him money because he was forced, as a result of your leaving, to hire a U-Hauler to take all of his furniture out. Is that right?
Correct.
And that was not the agreement, that you were going to reimburse her for half of the security deposit. Your agreement was she would pay for the security deposit, first, last, etc., and you would pay for the household furnishings and all of the household appliances.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
When did you move in together?
We moved in February 1st together.
And when did you leave the apartment?
April 2nd.
And you would have an argument at that time?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So you were ready to call it quits, and you were ready to call it quits, I assume.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
Now, you agree that she did put down this $1,200.
The $1,200, correct.
And to fulfill your part of the obligation, you purchased all of the furniture.
Correct.
And you purchased all of the appliances.
Correct.
In the U-Haul that you hired, did you put all the furniture?
Yes.
And did you put all the appliances that you purchased?
Yes.
Did she take any of the furniture?
No.
Did she take any of the appliances?
No, ma'am.
Well, so, then let's understand this. On the one side, she put down the $1,200. You purchased all the stuff, but you have all the stuff,
Correct.
right? She's out the $1,200, including half that should be yours, right?
No, because that wasn't the agreement.
Well, the understanding was that if she put down, according to you, that if she put down the $1,200, your capital contribution to the apartment would be, I assume, purchasing furniture and appliances about the same amount of money, $1,200.
Correct.
Did you spend $1,200?
About that, maybe a little more.
But you have it. You didn't say to her, I'll give you half, right?
Correct.
Why not?
Because the agreement was before we even took the apartment that if anything should happen to the relationship, that we would at least stay as roommates in the apartment.
Nobody stays on as roommates. That's stupid. In any event, sir, I don't believe you had that conversation. So what I'm asking you is let's talk about money. Let's say you spent $1,200 on furniture, appliances. She spent $1,200, right? Each of you should be out $600. That's math. I'm not really good at math. But am I making myself clear to you, Bird?
Very.
Right. So you got $1,200 worth of furniture and appliances. That's on your side. But you kept it. Now, you want to give her $600, or you want to give her half the furniture?
I'm not going to give her half the furniture.
So that's $600 for you. Now tell me about this $200.
The $200 was April 2nd when I left. He told me I owe him April's rent. And I felt that I didn't need to because it was April 2nd. It wasn't a complete month yet. I didn't need to give him anything.
But you did?
But I did because at the time that he had a spare key to my car and he told me that he would hide my car if he needed to until I gave him the money. And I took the $200 and I basically threw it at him.
So, cheap price, $200. You don't get that back. You get your $6 because I believe that that was your agreement. Now, you hired a U-Haul it. Why didn't you stay in the apartment?
Because due to her leaving, I mean, I couldn't afford the apartment on my own.
Well, just a minute. How much was the rent?
$600 a month.
And she had already given you $2 for April.
She had not given me $2 for April. During the argument, she actually opened her closet, which she already had her stuff packed, and just left.
She didn't give you an additional $200?
No, I left the apartment before she even finished taking her stuff out.
Really?
Your Honor, that's not true because we were fighting and there was a person on the phone. He was speaking to his mother and a friend of his, telling them how I started up being a psychopath. He sat there and watched me leave and pack up.
What date did you move out?
I believe it was the first week in May.
You stayed for the entire month of April.
Yes.
So you lived there. She didn't, right?
Correct.
So you pay for it. And then you had to move because of the rent. Where did you move to?
I'm actually staying with my sister right now.
Okay, you paying any rent there?
No.
Well, look at it this way. You spent $300 for a U-Haul?
Approximately, yes.
That would have been your share of the $300 worth of rent, right?
Correct.
And you couldn't afford the apartment anyway, right? So, and you got all that nice furniture. So what are you complaining about?
Your Honor, can I say something?
No, I want to ask him I want to find out what he's complaining about.
Actually, what I'm complaining about is, Your Honor, she stated in the police report, actually, when she filed for court, that I threatened her life and I threatened to do her harm. She actually, I have mail here, which she had actually forwarded to my sister's address. If I was threatening her life, I don't understand why she would forward mail to my sister's address where she knows that I go, when I also have police reports stating that they heard messages of her threatening to kill me, etc., etc.
Well, let me see the letter that you have, sir. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but let me take a look at it.
I forwarded the mail to her sister's address because at the time when I had nowhere to go, she offered to take me in. That's why I did it.
Whatever. It's really not dispositive of anything. All right, you owe $600. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600. That's all.
Versus Selb, Stamper. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Miss Selb.
Yes.
You were married to the defendant's father, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
For 7 years.
Almost 7 years. Yes, ma'am.
He died.
Yes, ma'am.
It is your claim that the defendants agreed to reimburse you for the costs of cremating your husband.
Yes, ma'am.
They say that there was never such an agreement. When did your husband pass away?
I cannot hear you.
When did your husband pass away?
He passed away of October 6th last year.
Was his passing away sudden?
No, ma'am.
He had been ill for a period of time?
Only my son was there.
Okay, let's try it on this side. Was your father ill for a long time?
I would say yes.
What do you mean you would say yes?
He had open heart surgery in 1994, and among many other illnesses, and I don't think he ever recuperated, if that's
From
what you
his
mean.
open heart surgery?
Right.
Were you notified as soon as he passed away?
He passed away at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Natalie called me the next, early, about 8:30 the next
Was
morning.
he home or was he in the hospital?
He was in the hospital.
How long had he been in the hospital?
It was 2 days prior.
To his passing.
She called you 2 days before. Did you go to see him?
No.
She told us not to.
She told us not to bother coming up there.
She has no right to do that. And if she did, I would assume that you would just disregard that and go and see your father anyway.
She requested us that we did not come up there.
Then you disregard that request and you go see your father.
She said that he was not, there was no plans for actually that he was going to survive the evening.
Even more reason for you to get there. Did you see your father regularly?
A few times a year.
And you?
Natalie made it very difficult for us to see our father. She called me in 1998 and told me that I was never welcome in her home again. So my visits with my father had to be over the phone. I was not welcome in her home.
All right, Miss Selb, would you tell me the conversation that you allegedly had with these children about their reimbursing you for the cost of your husband's cremation?
On October 21st, they came over to pick up some of my husband's heirlooms. They also want to have the ashes. I told Tina that I have paid $1,200 for it, and she said she will reimburse the money. All I have to do is just send the bill.
I never said that.
I have sent the bill with a letter. I didn't hear anything from her.
Just a minute. At that time, did you give her the ashes?
Yes, they took the ashes when they left.
Was there any funeral service for your husband?
No, there was just at the park, you know, people have got together and had dinner and stuff like that. And I have asked them, but they didn't want to come.
But they came to the house to pick up some property, is that right?
Yes.
That's correct.
And you picked up your father's ashes?
Yes.
Tell me under what circumstances this lady gave you the ashes.
We went up to get my dad's war mementos and our family photo albums, all that was left of that my father had, and there was never a discussion about taking the ashes home. I mean, that wasn't why we went up there.
Okay.
She presented a carton as we were leaving of his ashes, and we were both very surprised by that. There was never a discussion about reimbursing for ashes or giving her money for the cremation, and then we can exchange, you know, pay this ransom for my father's ashes and we could leave with it. Never a discussion about that. The ashes were there. She presented it to us along with a copy of what appears to be his will, and we left. That was that.
Miss Selb, why did you give them your husband's ashes?
Why did I do what?
Why did you give them your husband's ashes?
Because Doug asked for it.
Because they asked for it?
Yes.
And you had no problem with that?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to divide it, ma'am. You know, so I said, okay, you go ahead and take it. Because Tina told me that she's going to reverse the money.
Well, when you decided to have him cremated, you didn't speak to her with regard to the costs. Is that right?
She told me also that whatever I do is okay with her, and she also talked to my son.
That's not true.
At the
That's
hospital.
absolutely not true.
At the where?
At the hospital. When my husband was in the hospital, she called. My son was in the hospital when she called when my husband was sick.
Step up. Tell me. Not proper court attire.
Sorry.
So you should have something important to say. I assume you do.
Basically, I was there when he went into the hospital and when he died.
And when did you have a conversation with Tina?
I had conversations with them at least, each of them at least twice.
Go ahead, let me hear about the conversation.
You know, they were asking what was going on with their father and, you know, what do the doctors think? And I said, they don't really know. They pretty much think he's going to die or they're not going to do much about it. And then they told me that they weren't able to get up there. So we went in the next morning and made arrangements to have him cremated. They left it in the hands of my mother to take care of.
Were there any death benefits under Social Security?
I believe the $225 that they give for when somebody dies, Social Security, that was about it. And then,
The $225 for burial costs?
yeah, that's what the Social Security system will pay.
Okay, well, that's $225.
Correct.
Even that, your lawsuit is $1,200, which is the entire cost of cremation, right?
Yes.
Is there a will?
Your Honor, my father had an estate when he married Natalie. And I have here a record of every single thing that my father had and things that show, as far as I'm concerned, that he had an estate that more than paid for funeral expenses.
Plus his wishes to be buried.
He wanted
whole.
to be buried whole next to my mother, who died in 1983. He already had a plot. He already had his wishes known. She knew them. She and I discussed this. When he died, she knew that we did not want him cremated and that he didn't want to be cremated.
How long was he married to your mother?
37 years.
When did she pass away?
1983. I hired Natalie to be his housekeeper.
I think an important point.
Go ahead.
I think an important point is that when my father was ill, we hired Natalie, my sister actually hired Natalie to take care of him. And in a 6-week period, they were married, and she produced a license with his name on it. And
Her license.
with her name on it, and my father's name. And at that point, a bank that had all his funds and monies called us up, my sister, which was the power of attorney at the time, and said, there's something funny going on. This woman is here, and she's liquidating
Closing all of his accounts.
Closing all of his accounts, getting all the funds out of his accounts. At that point, we contacted my father, and that's when he said, well, we just happened to get married.
Okay. Miss Sell, after you married Mr. Sell,
Yes.
were you working anyplace else?
Before I started working for him?
For the last 7 years, since you were married to their father, you didn't work at all outside the home?
That was a full-time job with Mr. Selb.
Fine. So you didn't work at all outside the home?
No, ma'am.
Is that right? How were you supported?
We lived on his retirement and my Social Security.
How much was your Social Security?
My Social Security, $472.
And how much was his pension?
His pension was $1,200, something like that.
And how much was his Social Security?
5 something.
So you had Social Security of $400, and he had about $1,700 a month. Is that right?
Right, ma'am.
Okay. And he had savings as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Of course. Where are his savings?
The savings?
Yeah.
We spent most of it.
Do you have any left?
We have traveled quite a bit, ma'am.
Oh, just a minute. Do you have any left of his savings?
Yeah, I have $2,000.
Good. That pays for the funeral. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The only thing I can say that I took care of their father for 7 years.
My sister went there a couple of weeks afterwards, and she found the mail actually had been sorted through and gone through, his financial statements gone through.
They wouldn't even answer the letters I have sent it to them.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Langlois, step forward.
51-year-old office manager Vicki Langlois is suing her ex-husband, 36-year-old operations manager Jim Langlois, for medical expenses for the family dog.
Miss Langlois, you and the defendant were married for 13 years. You were divorced officially, I believe, according to what I've read, in 1999.
Correct.
There was a dog.
Jim's dog.
Well, you say it was Jim's dog. There was a dog that lived in your house for a long time. The dog remained in your home. The dog became ill. You took the dog to the vet.
Correct.
There was substantial expenses for the dog in the amount of $1,817. The dog was ultimately put to sleep, and you want the defendant to pay those veterinarian bills.
Correct.
Okay, so I will hear you on why you think he is responsible for those bills.
When he left in March of '99, he moved into a studio apartment where there was no pets allowed. I was left with the dog to care for it. Then, March of 2000, the dog became ill. I talked to Jim,
and I explained to him everything that happened. He didn't disagree with how I handled it. I told him I would not be able to pay the bills, and he said that was okay, and he'd take care of it. So I had brought the dog home with the understanding that I would have to give the dog intravenous feedings twice a day, which I did until April 25th, when he suddenly turned worse. I called Jim. I told him he wanted to see the dog. I brought the dog to him, and he returned the dog to me, and the next day the dog even got worse. I called the vet. She said there's nothing more we can do for him.
How old was the dog?
12 years. And
how old is your son?
12.
So that the dog had been your son's companion as well.
His best friend.
Okay, go ahead.
And so Thursday night, the 27th, I believe it was, I called Jim at work. When I tried to discuss what was going on with the dog, he just wanted to talk about the divorce and all the other property issues that were going on. And he got abusive, and he wasn't even listening to me. I was telling him that Saturday morning was the appointment, and he got abusive and was swearing at me, and I hung up the phone. On Saturday morning, my daughter Kendra took me and our 12-year-old son to the vet, and we sat there with him while the dog was put down. Later, I talked to Jim about the money, and he said we would have to discuss it at the divorce hearing in June. When we got to the divorce hearing, his attorney asked that the two attorneys could talk outside of the courtroom and discuss some of the issues.
The outstanding financial issues.
Right, and the dog was one of them. My attorney said that Jim was denying it was his dog, and that I shouldn't waste $250 an hour. I should take it to of his time. I should take it to small claims court, and that's what I did.
It is clear to me, Mrs. Langlos, that your 12-year-old son would have been devastated had his father left the house, and in addition to leaving the house, taken his dog. According to you, the dog was his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that you were dog sitting for the defendant's dog. You kept the dog because it was the family dog. Whoever purchased it, paid for it. I have a dog. When she's a very, very good dog, my husband says it's his dog. When it poops in the house, it's my dog. The issue of whose dog it is not relevant to this. Your former wife claims that you indicated to her that you would, at one point, take care of the veterinary bills. Let us assume for the moment that you did say to her, I'll take care of it, whatever the bills are. And I don't even have to make a judgment on that. There did come a time that you went to the Supreme Court to resolve all issues of money involving your marriage. According to you, Ms. Langlos, the issue of the dog's bills was raised by the attorneys in that proceeding.
Outside of the judge.
It doesn't make any difference.
Correct.
It was part of the negotiation. You did the right thing by keeping the dog and taking care of the dog. Your problem, Mrs. Langlos, is this. There must be finality when parties divorce. And that is usually as of the day that a final judgment of divorce is rendered. Everybody is there, and they throw all the marbles on the table, and they say, listen, this is what we got. This is what our bills are. This is what our expenses are. This is what our assets are. We're going to divide them. We're going to divide them in an equitable fashion, and that's what you pay a lawyer for. That was clearly done. So all of that was before the court, or should have been before the court. Now, you understand that, Mrs. Langlos. I know that from the way you're shaking your head, you understand that. Because ultimately, each of you has to know, this is the date that my financial obligations are fixed, both for child support, for maintenance, for alimony, for outstanding credit cards, for outstanding bank loans. You can't keep this thing going forever. It's not healthy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
According to you, and I'm just taking what you tell me, your attorney did in fact raise the issue at that time. You were given bad advice by your attorney. If your attorney did indeed say to you, deal with it later, that's very bad advice, because your marriage terminated and these bills were incurred prior to the stipulation and settlement and the judgment of divorce, unless your former husband believes that you should voluntarily contribute to the dog's vet bills. He is under no legal obligation to do so. Just for my own sake, you want to tell me, Mr. Langlois, how much you pay in child support for your son?
I believe it's $961 a month.
Do you pay maintenance to your former wife, in addition to the child support?
Yes.
And how much do you pay in maintenance?
1,000 something.
It's a little over 1,000, 1,027.
Are you currently current in your child support and maintenance?
Yes, my child support and spousal support comes directly out of my work check.
Do you see your son? Visit him?
Not now, I don't.
Why not?
We have issues that we're working out through court right now.
So there are ongoing issues of visitation? So you're still paying lawyers?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am. She's not. She doesn't have a lawyer at this time. I do.
Well, that's unfortunate.
No, that's not true. I do have a lawyer.
Whether you have
But
a
yes,
lawyer,
we are.
I have his letter that says
whether you
he's-
have a lawyer or not, it's really unfortunate that you can't put a period and start having some sort of normalcy to your lives. That's really very unfortunate. In any event, Ms. Langlois, all financial issues were resolved in your case in June of 2000, so your lawsuit... All right, there's a rather complicated fact pattern in this case, so let me see if I understand it. The defendant is your brother.
Yes.
About 2 years ago, your brother had just been released from jail and came to live in your father's home.
Yes.
This is your father?
Yes, it is.
Within a day or so after his release, a probation officer came to the house to check up on him, and the probation officer came unannounced.
Yes.
And that was a condition of your probation.
Yes.
What had you been in jail for?
Possession of methamphetamines?
Drugs.
Yes.
And when the probation officer arrived, the probation officer found your father smoking marijuana.
Yes, in his room, Your Honor.
And he was smoking marijuana because he was ill.
Yes.
And I understand he has now a card that indicates that he can use cannabis for medicinal purposes. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have that card, sir?
Yes, sir.
At the time, he did not have that card.
No, ma'am.
So he was taken to jail.
Yes.
There were certain expenses surrounding his incarceration. You had to bail him out.
Yes.
You had to hire a lawyer.
Yes.
And you say that your brother agreed to repay you for these
Yes.
costs because, but for the fact that he was in the house, you felt as if he was responsible. The probation officer wouldn't have been there, your father wouldn't have been arrested, and you felt as if it was his fault.
Yes.
Would you step up, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the nature of your illness, sir?
I have spinal stenosis, I have gout, I have arthritis, I have rheumatism.
How long did you spend in jail?
12 hours, something like that.
Before your daughter bailed you out?
Yes.
And how much did it cost to bail him out?
The bail was set at $8,000, so we had to put $800 down.
And you hired a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much was the lawyer?
The lawyer was $2,500.
You have receipts for those two things?
Yes, I do. Here's the bail receipt. And this is the attorney receipts. He sent the receipts on the letters. He sent letters showing me the balance and the balance due.
What was the ultimate sentence, Mr. Pacheco?
They charged me a $300 fine.
You can sit down. Are you uncomfortable standing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have a seat. Now, Mr. Pacheco, can you tell me about the conversation you had with your brother with regard to this money?
Yeah, at the time when the police they came into the house and they wanted to know where my brother's stuff was. I showed him in the corner because that was my father and my brother's agreement that his stuff was to stay in the corner. That way, if in case anything was to happen, because he told my dad about the search clause, that his stuff was in the corner and nowhere else in the house. He wasn't home at the time.
Who wasn't home at the time? Your brother?
Yeah, right, correct. My two young sisters were there at the time and very upset that my father had been taken to jail. Me and my brother here walked my sisters to McDonald's to get them something to eat. On the way to McDonald's, we met up with my brother who was coming home. At that time, I told him that our father had been arrested, and he felt bad about it. And he told me, well, all I have right now is $100. Do you know how much the bail is? I said, the officers didn't tell me what the bail was set at or anything. He called up and he found out that the bail was set at $8,000, and he asked me
if I had any money. I did have money. I was reluctant to loan him the money because he had just gotten out of jail and I knew he didn't have any funds at the time. I did at that time tell him I would loan him the money, and he told me he would pay me back because he felt bad that he had put his father in that situation.
But he did say, I'll pay you back.
Yes, he did, and he also said that he would pay back any fines, and also if there was any lawyer or attorney fees, he would pay that. And
did he say that to you?
Yes. My brother, David, was there at that time when we had the conversation.
Okay, I'll hear you.
Well, what had happened was, I was in, I had just been recently incarcerated. I got out, I spoke to my father, I'd explained to him, I didn't explain to him about the search closet first. I explained to him that I had nowhere to go, I didn't have nothing to do, I needed to stay at his place for a while. Moved my stuff in, like she said. I had one particular area, and at that time I told him, that's when he told me to put it in one area, because I told him about the search clause.
This was after you moved in?
This was, yeah, right after I moved in. And he said, okay, well, rather than just putting me out, he says, well, leave all your stuff here. If anything happens, your probation officer wants to come, this is your area, they can search your stuff. He knew I wasn't doing drugs or nothing. I knew what he did, but he did it in his own room because he was sick, and a long time his doctor told him, you know, that if it helps him, go ahead and smoke it, but he couldn't, you know, prescribe it due to, you know, fear of being incarcerated himself, the doctor. So then when the police came in, I wasn't there. They came in, to my understanding, they didn't even search any of my stuff. They just smelled marijuana in the house. They went to his room with unannounced, and then they seen him smoking the marijuana, so they took him to jail. My sister, I was coming back home. My sister told me, Pop's in jail, what happened? Your probation officer come, they searched. So I was real worried about it. I was like, well, how much is going to get out? We'll find out. So we found out his bail. I had $100 in my pocket. I was thinking, where can I get the money? Where? And Gloria says, oh, I got the $700. So I said, well, you do? I said, okay, you know, well, let's go bail him out. And as far as all the payments of the lawyers and the court costs and all that, I never agreed to pay none of that. I thought about it, so, well, he got 8 kids, you know, everybody, I didn't put him in there smoking the weed, you know, I didn't have him in there smoking because they came search for me. They didn't find nothing on me. They didn't find nothing in my area.
Other than the fact that you agreed to pay her back, you would have no legal obligation to pay for your father, even though the probation officer was there looking for you. And but for the fact that you were living in your father's house, your father, in all probability, would not have been arrested, at least on that day.
Yes.
That doesn't make you legally responsible unless you agreed to pay her back.
I didn't agree to pay no lawyer fees or...
Step up. Tell me your name.
David Pacheco.
You were with your sister when you found your brother?
Yes.
Tell me about the conversation as you remember it.
My sister, when we approached my brother, like she said, she explained to my brother, you know, about how the police came and how they took him to jail and stuff like that. And you know, he couldn't stress enough how bad he felt of, you know, it was his fault that my father had ended up in jail that day. He said it more than once that, you know, I will pay you back anything, you know, whatever fines come up, anything, I will pay you back as soon as I can.
When did you decide, sir, that since there were 8 children, it should be spread around?
When I couldn't pay the bill, when I couldn't pay nothing, and I didn't agree to pay
I just want to know, you didn't say to your sister at the time, well, there are 8 children, so we'll spread this around.
No, I didn't, because at the time I was just worried about getting my father out of jail.
Right.
As far as the bail, I may be responsible for the bail because if he was incarcerated because of me, but that don't make me got to pay. Why I got to pay the plant fees? He got his plants took, his weed took, his you know, put it in jail. I didn't put him there. I didn't tell him to smoke no weed. I know it helps him, but you know, I didn't know they was coming to raid him.
Mr. Pacheco, I don't think you listened to what I said before. I said, if it weren't for the fact that I believe that you told your sister at the time that you would pay her back this money, you would not have a legal obligation to do it because it's not your fault that your father was smoking marijuana, even as he claims, for medicinal purposes. But I can imagine how badly you felt at that moment when you found out that your father had been taken to jail.
Yes, of course.
That you felt terrible, and you said, let's do whatever we can to get him out, and I'll take care of the bills, but I don't have the money now. I mean, that sounds logical to me.
Well,
later on, perhaps,
we didn't even discussed anything about the lawyer fees or anything till after that day anyway. Now, when I told my father, you know, let me know what's happening, and I'll do whatever I could do, but I say I will pay it, and then when he starts coming at me with $2,500 for a lawyer, you know, I'd have got a public pretender.
Public pretender. I never heard them referred to as a public pretender.
I've seen some of them work. Some of them are pretenders.
That's what I say too. But see, you get that from the state. I mean, you know, why am a
public
I wouldn't
pretender?
get no
That's a new one.
$2,500 on a
Gotta
lawyer.
send that one to the Bar Association. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,600. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I ain't tell him go get no lawyer or tell him to, you know, go hire this high-priced lawyer and get all these fines. I never agreed to none of that.
Sometimes family, they might say something at the time and not mean it, but you just have to pursue it.
And now the next case.
All parties on Clay versus Markham. Step forward, please.
50-year-old respiratory therapist James Clay is suing 30-year-old former teacher's aide Don Markham. James says during his family stay at a hotel, Don injured his daughter in the pool.
Mr. Clay, I understand that you were at a motel with one of your daughters.
2 of my daughters, yes, ma'am.
And it was a nice day, and you and your daughters were in the swimming pool.
My 2 daughters were in the pool, and my wife was supervising them.
And at the same time, the defendant was in the swimming pool.
Yes, ma'am.
You were there with a group of people?
Yes, I was there with a school group. I was a room chaperone.
You were the chaperone?
Room chaperone, just for the evenings in the room.
According to your complaint, Mr. Clay, the defendant injured your 11-year-old daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you present when that happened?
I was not present.
Who is a witness to what happened?
My wife.
Could you step up, please? Mrs. Clay, tell me what you observed.
Well, Mr. Markham was in the pool. He was in the middle of this group. He was picking people up and throwing them. He'd throw one this way and one that way, and, you know, just every direction. And some of the other mothers and I were looking at each other like, this isn't right. He's going to hurt somebody. This is an accident that's going to happen. And it did.
Well, tell me what happened.
Well, he picked up a young man, threw him. My daughter was close to
How did he throw him?
Like that, through the water. You know, hurling and then down on my daughter's left shoulder. Pushed her under the water. And she came back up and her shoulder was obviously hurt.
Well, what did Mr. Markham do?
Well, I looked right over at him and he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and didn't say anything.
Did you take your daughter for any treatment?
We went back to the room, got dressed, and subsequently went to the hospital, the ER.
Do you have any papers from the emergency room?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Laura, would you like to step up with your mom and dad?
Sure.
Tell me what happened when this person fell on you.
Well, me and my little sister were jumping off the edge of the pool, and I was reaching towards the ladder, and I turned around and I was looking at her, and that's when the gentleman fell on top of me.
What did he say to you? Do you remember?
Yeah, he was touching my shoulder. He kept on asking if I was okay. I contacted back to my mom. I was screaming and crying.
Okay, what was the total amount, Mr. Clay, of the family's unreimbursed medical bills?
$424.10, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Markham, I'll hear you.
Well, I was at the pool, and with what she said, I wasn't throwing people here and there. It was only the second time I had thrown the boy, and I saw where he had landed before, so I went under the water so he could get his foot here and a foot on his shoulder. So when I came up out of the water, after he tapped me, he went back. Well, I didn't know he had landed on the girl until I had turned around.
Were you standing in the pool, sir?
Yes.
Didn't you think that maybe if you threw him over your shoulder, he could have landed on his head in the pool if your feet touched the bottom of the pool?
Well, the water was up to here. I was
right, but you're throwing somebody up. You're thrusting them up, which means they can go over on their head.
Yes.
Down to the bottom of the pool, snap their neck. Didn't that ever occur to you?
No, ma'am, because the area that I was throwing him into.
Launched is a good word.
Well, the area that he was going into was deeper than the area I was standing.
How much deeper?
I'd say a good foot, but I figured if somebody wasn't diving head first or anything like that, if somebody was just dropping into water, you know, he had asked me to do it, so I was having fun and enjoying myself with the kids, having a good time, so I did.
Well, that was pretty stupid, wasn't it?
Looking back at it now, yes, but.
Well, why didn't you follow through with these people with regard to seeing whether she was injured?
Well, after the boy had landed on her and I saw that she was injured, I did go over to her, asked her if she needed help. I told her, you know, I'm sorry about this happening. And I stood there. I was going to help her up out of the pool, and she told me, no, no, don't touch me, don't touch me. So I backed up out of the pool and just kept an eye on her until her mother came over to her. And then I watched them go out of the pool. And that was the last time I heard anything until, you know, the girl from the front desk came over to me to get my name and address to fill out the accident report. And then I didn't hear from him again until September 15th is when I got a certified letter from him. He gave me 4 days to actually get a hold of him, and he was asking for $914 at the time. He gave me 4 days to reply to him, or he said he was going to sue me in the letter. And I sent him out this copy of this letter, asking for certain information just so I can see and what and all has been done and what and all I needed to verify what was going on.
Let me see the envelope, please. This one.
This is the envelope for the first time.
Mr. Markham, well, you talk here in terms, sir, of your level of responsibility. But what do you mean, my level of responsibility?
I know as myself, I have a deductible amount, but I never heard of a deductible amount being so high. So I thought,
Okay, so
well,
you're talking about the level of your financial responsibility.
Yes.
Not that you don't bear responsibility for the actions that you caused.
Right. You know, even though, you know, like I said, it was an accident, but I was willing to work with the gentleman.
No, that wasn't an accident. That wasn't an accident. An accident happens when sometimes there are unforeseen circumstances. I don't view this as an accident. You are a mature adult. You, by your actions, dealing with the kids that you were supposed to supervise, caused her injury. So there's no question about your responsibility. The only question is how much. Now we know that just the money part of your responsibility is $424.10 with regard to out-of-pocket expenses by the plaintiff. Is that what you believe is your level of responsibility?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about the discomfort and the pain and suffering suffered by the victim? Don't you bear any responsibility for that?
Well, I feel for her circumstances, and I don't know if there is a amount you could put on.
That's what courts do. Courts put on an amount.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing that summer? Were you still in school on June 11th?
No, actually, I went on a camping trip with my dad and my little sister.
Right afterwards?
No, we had to wait at least for the rest of the month.
For the camping trip, my husband said that she couldn't really hold a backpack so they could go, you know, really hiking for a long time or anything like that. So
It was a trip that we had planned all year, just me and my two daughters going out west. And it ruled her out of soccer for the fall. She wasn't able to play.
You mean in September you still had residual effect of the shoulder injury?
I couldn't move my shoulder for a very far distance for about 3 months afterwards.
Mr. Markham, that's what courts mean by pain and suffering. Plaintiff is suing you, Mr. Markham, for $3,000. He's suing you, I assume. The other $2,500 is for pain and suffering on behalf of his daughter for the discomfort that she endured as a result of your actions. He is absolutely entitled to that. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
All right. Well, there are certain things about this lawsuit that we can all agree on. Ms. Kessler, the defendant is your cousin.
Correct.
Also a neighbor.
Correct.
And he has a girlfriend. Girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
You also know Dawn.
Yes.
And according to what I've managed to piece together from reading these papers, you were having a conversation with Dawn. And during that conversation, you told her something about your cousin that she didn't like, and that certainly he didn't like. What did you tell her about him?
That Jason was in Terre Haute on a boat, fishing and partying all weekend, Labor Day weekend, instead of being out of town working.
So you told his girlfriend that he wasn't where he was supposed to be, but he was out partying when he was supposed to be employed, right?
Yes.
And you confronted Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Step up. When did you tell Jason?
While I was on the phone with Amanda, I had asked him about it.
So he was at your house?
Yes.
Had you called Amanda, or did she call you?
She had called me.
While you were on the phone with her, did you call into Jason and say, Jason, tell me what you did?
After she had told me Jason was sitting there, and I had asked him.
Were you still on the phone with her?
Yes, I was.
So you're holding the phone?
Yes.
And what did you say to him?
I had asked him, Amanda had told me that he had lost his job and that he was out drinking. So I had asked him about it. And
What did you say?
I asked Jason if he had lost his job, and he said that he didn't lose it, that him and his partner that he was working with had walked off of the job. And I proceeded to tell him that Amanda said that they were out partying, and I had asked him about that, and he said no. Then Jason got mad and went over to confront Amanda about this. And then this is when the confrontation went into effect.
Did you follow him?
No, not over to Amanda's house. I was watching out of my bay window, which...
So you didn't see what happened when you
Not
got
when
there?
he went over to her house, no.
So that you can sit down. So here we have it. You put your nose in where it didn't belong. He got mad, and you went over to her house.
True.
Furious.
Yes.
What happened when you got there?
Oh, I didn't go in the home. I just was outside, and she ran into the house, and I grabbed
ran
the
into the
shovel.
house?
She did, Amanda. I grabbed the shovel, and I proceeded to go up to her van, and I destroyed the taillight. I hit the taillight, and I paid for a new one, got the receipt, and gave it to her. From that point, there was nothing ever said or anything about it until I got papers from her saying she wanted to serve me to go to court, saying I caused $1,900 of damage, that I beat the van with the shovel, which there is no dents on there from a shovel. It's all hail damage that were already existingly on the vehicle when they bought it.
Why did you pick up a shovel, Mr. Napier?
Well, I was frustrated, and I was tired of her interfering in my life and starting trouble with my family when she ruined her own life with her family.
You mean you couldn't settle that with words?
Well, words only lead so far. It just accumulated of her doing it to us so many times and so many incidents and so many reports. You know, I just got fed up with it, and it just tried to relieve the pressure and show her what it feels like when she destroys people's property.
Why, she ever destroyed your property?
Yes, she has, many of times.
Really?
Yes.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, I got a report here of stating she did criminal mischief and she popped my fiance's tires in broad daylight, and said that two men in a Buick pulled up and jumped out of the car and popped the tires when she was drunk, and she deliberately went over there and did that.
Well, how do you know she deliberately did that?
Because we saw her out of the front bay window. We told her to watch and heard the tires pop. You know, and tires make a loud noise when you stab a knife through them.
Now, your defense is that, yes, you did cause damage to the car.
Yes, and I knew I was at fault, and I paid for it, and I told her that I was sorry for that, you know, and I knew I did wrong, and I got papers reported to me that I needed to go to court.
All right, Ms. Kessler, you tell me what happened. He comes to your house, and you run inside.
Okay, let's back up a little bit, Your Honor. When I was on the phone with Dawn, she advised me to call 911, that Jason was in a very big rage, so I did so quickly, ran to my master bedroom closet while he was in my house screaming that he's going to burn my house down, beat me up. I then heard the door shut, and I was on the phone with the dispatcher at the time, and I watched Jason pick up a shovel from my storm door and just rage from my hood all the way back. And there's scars, and there are dents. There's scars on my windows, on my hood, all the way down where it needs to be repainted. I have a very nice looking van, and I was so frustrated and confused. The police said that they would take care of it, talk to him. He said he'd pay for the damages. So I left it at that. Well, nothing was getting done, and I saw that there was more damage, got the estimate, and wow, almost $2,000 worth of repairs.
Tell me about him fixing the taillight.
I had a friend over. Dawn called them over. He did not fix the taillight. Dawn gave the taillight to a friend of mine in the yard.
So he purchased a taillight?
Right. And then I had to pay somebody to put it on for me.
You have photographs of the car?
No, I do not.
Why not?
Well, I did. I forgot to bring them.
How am I supposed to assess the damage?
Well, I have two estimates here that have full explanatory of what happened. I have a police report here that has
Well, let me see the reports that you have.
We do have pictures, Your Honor.
You have pictures?
Yes.
She wants the police report. And
I want the police report and the estimates, and I will take a look at the defendant's photographs, please. Now, Dawn, you did not witness this, is that right?
Yes, I did.
You said you were in the house.
Yes, I witnessed it through my bay window, which her van, she has pads that that come up into the side of my yard, which is right in front of my bay window, and I witnessed the whole thing.
Now you're showing me these photographs, sir.
And if those were created by a shovel, they'd be a lot
It would
bigger
have done
than that.
a lot more damage than that.
This one certainly looks as if it's an absolutely fresh scratch with a dent. Want to take a look at that on the hood?
Right.
He never went to the front of the vehicle. He
No.
stayed at the end. When the police came, the shovel was still by the tail light, halfway in the yard and on the sidewalk. He hit the tail light, dropped the shovel, and he proceeded to leave.
You're also presenting a bill here that talks about front lamps, front bumper.
He hit my van about 22 times.
Well, if he hit your van about 22 times, then you should have, clearly, some evidence to demonstrate that. Certainly this caused substantial damage.
Right, that was at the end of his rage.
This is not damage. That's what your van looks like now, right?
Right. There's scars all the way up and down. The
Well, but
window's scarred.
You don't see that here. What you're saying is those scrapes and dents were not caused by a shovel.
Right.
Well, if you pick up a shovel and you cause this kind of damage, you see more than just a scrape.
Right.
Doesn't that seem logical to you?
Seems logical to me.
Especially with the anger that he had in him to do little dents like that. I mean,
how much did it cost you, Miss Kessler, to have the tail light fixed?
I paid a gentleman $10, a friend of mine, just to install it for me.
Miss Kessler, why is it that you felt it necessary to tell Dawn about your cousin's Labor Day foray?
I didn't call her purposely for that. Dennis called in on call waiting while I was on the phone with Dawn, and then he told me this information. I popped back over on Dawn and said, well, that was Dennis. And she said, what's going on? And I gave her just facts, that Jason was in Terre Haute on the boat instead of at work.
You see, Miss Kessler, what happens is when you stick your nose in somebody else's business, something's going to happen. I mean, what did you think? Jason was going to thank you for outing him with his girlfriend? Did you think he was going to be happy about that? That he's out fooling around on a weekend when he's supposed to be working? In any event, I think you better settle your differences, because if you're not only cousins but neighbors, this kind of stuff is absolutely ridiculous. You say it cost you an additional $10 to have it installed?
Correct.
That's the judgment. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $10. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was wrong for her to call over there and start stuff with my fiance and try to get me into a predicament that shouldn't have been escalated into.
I would like to move on with life.
And now the next case.
All parties on York versus Morash. Step forward, please.
64-year-old retired postal worker Beverly York is suing her son, 39-year-old mover Leonard Morash, for a loan to pay outstanding court fines. Leonard says his mother told him he didn't have to pay it back.
According to your complaint, your son was incarcerated. What were you in jail for, sir?
Felon in possession of a firearm, ma'am.
And he had served his time on that charge, but it appeared that he had some outstanding parking tickets or outstanding driving tickets. Is that right, sir?
Outstanding fines, Your Honor.
What kind of fines?
For a little criminal activity of possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana.
And what were the fines for? Court fees?
Yes, ma'am.
That you hadn't paid?
Correct.
And how long?
Several years.
Not terribly responsible. So that you were contacted in order to find out if you would put up the money to pay those fines so that he could get out of jail.
Correct.
You agreed to do that, according to you. You made a loan to him.
$705.
$705. He got out of jail, didn't pay you.
Correct.
Who contacted you?
At first, my son contacted me.
From prison?
From prison. And he asked if I would loan him the money. And he has made several loans in the past that he has never paid me back. And this time I said no. And then he called later on from his counselor's office, and he wanted me to speak with his counselor. And his counselor advised me that he had changed and thought that it would be a good idea if I helped him out.
How long were you in jail, sir?
I was in there for about 3 years.
You were anxious to get out?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
How long would you have had to remain in jail if your mother hadn't paid the fines?
It might have been like 6 months.
So you were looking at another 6 months?
Correct.
Now, you did call your mother initially. After she finished speaking with your counselor, you spoke to her. Is that right?
Yeah, she was a little leery of doing it in the first place.
And what did you tell her?
I said that I would come back to live with her and be with my son.
Your mother has legal custody of your
Yes,
son.
she does at this point in time.
Well, she has for a long time, I assume.
Correct. I've been in and out of his life.
How long have you had legal custody of your grandson?
Since he was a year and a half old.
That's you, right?
Yes.
You like living with your grandma?
Yes, I do.
Treats you good?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do you want to be in here or would you like to wait outside? How do you feel about it?
I'll stay in here.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you told your mother that you would come back to live with her.
Yes, I did.
Did you go back to live with her?
No, I'm residing in Concord now. I have a good job there and a beautiful apartment, and I'm with my wife. And she doesn't like the fact that I'm with my wife. But she had told me prior to that I did not have to pay her back as long as I was with my son. Came
Well,
back
when
into
did
his
she
life.
tell you? Okay, so let's go back. When did she tell you that you didn't have to pay her back?
During a visit at the halfway house that I was in, after getting out so I could get back into society and conform and just do the right things. And she had visited me with my son, and it wasn't about the money issue. It was about me being back into my son's life and him having a father, and which I always tried to do. My mother's very controlling and overbearing at times.
She can't control you while you're in prison, sir. What did she say to forgive this loan?
She said to me, it's not about the money, Lenny. I just want you to come back into your son's life and take care of him, have responsibility for him. And I've always wanted to do that, but I have my crosses that I bear. I've made mistakes in my life. all
Okay,
right?
so what did she...
I just want to carry on.
So what was the arrangement? The arrangement was that you would come back to live with her,
Correct.
be in your son's life,
Mhm.
and if you did that, she would forgive the loan.
Right, and not go
Just a
back to
second.
my...
Hold on. Did you go back to live with her?
No, I did not, ma'am.
Well, if you did not go back to live with her, sir, you still owe her the money. Now, you were married at that time?
I've been married for 3 years.
So instead of going and living with your mother, you went back to your wife.
Correct.
Well, do you think that you breached the agreement with your mother?
No, I don't, because I believe she had said that I didn't have to pay her.
She said you didn't
She-
have
she
to pay her
forgave the
if
loan.
what? If what?
If I went back into her life, in
No,
my
you told
son's
me if
life.
you went back to live with her.
Right.
With your son.
With my son, correct.
Okay, but you didn't do that.
No, I did not.
So you didn't fulfill your part of the agreement which forgave the loan. Are you following me?
Yes, I am.
Well, I mean, because you had a choice. Your choice was that either...
I went back to live with my wife, correct.
Right.
And then she started haunting me on the phone and calling me all sorts of names on the phone with my son on the phone. My son's screaming and crying, and she's back in the background calling me all sorts of, insidious, crazy names. And I love her. She's my mother, but I can't put up with her sometimes.
Mr. Marash,
Yes, ma'am.
you were in prison for 3 years, so during the 3 years that you were in prison, you were, I assume, not contributing to the financial support of your son. Is that right?
Correct.
Now that you have a good job, how much money have you been sending to your mother to contribute to your son's support?
I haven't.
Why not?
She hasn't asked for any. If she would let me into my son's life,
Just a minute.
this is my flesh and blood. I thought blood was thicker than water. Now it's
Why don't you see if this young man wants to step outside while we finish this discussion?
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. Look at my son here for a second.
Sure.
How you doing?
Fine.
Come on. Go like this way.
Okay.
Your grandson is what, 11?
He's 10.
He's 10. I assume that the reason that you have legal custody of your grandson is because not only was his father incapable of taking care of him, but his mother as well.
Correct.
Is his mother alive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does she have any contact with him?
No, she does not.
You should not wait for her to say, I need some money for him. She's been managing without you for 9 years. You should say, now I have a good job and I want to become an active member of society and fulfill my responsibilities. So for my good job, I'm going to send you $100 a week, $200 a week. I'm going to try to make up for what I haven't sent you over 9 years. Instead, you continue to bleed her. You should bless her every day. She took over your responsibility for 9 years. I mean, you may be angry. You may think my mother's controlling. She sets the times that I can see my son. She wants me to only see him at her house. All of those things. Does that sound familiar to you?
something like that.
I would too. She's right to say to you, you'll see him on my terms until I'm sure that you're going to be a positive influence in his life. You're not going to be here today and gone tomorrow.
Yeah, but I also understand that a father should be in his son's life irregardless of mistakes or, things. It's the way it should be.
Oh, who
I have a lot,
said that?
I
Where
have
is
a
that
lot
written?
to offer him.
What do you have to offer him?
Friendship, love. companion, being his father.
Fathering a child takes a second. That doesn't make you a parent. She's his parent. Mother and father. You weren't there when he had the measles, the mumps, the chicken pox if he had, when he had strep throat, when he had an upset stomach, when he had to do his homework, when he had problems with a classmate, when somebody made him feel badly in school because his father was in jail. You weren't there. She was. You have to prove yourself to not only your son, but to your mother as well. And you're going to start proving yourself by paying her what you owe her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $705. That's all.
Thank you,
Parties
Your
are
Honor.
excused on the calendar in the matter of Wilson versus Pierce. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Miss Wilson, according to what I've read, you knew the defendant through a niece of yours.
Yes.
The defendant had 2 children, and she found herself pregnant.
Yes.
And had very little money. So far correct?
No, ma'am.
Had a lot of responsibility.
Yes, ma'am. But it was financial responsibility.
And a decision was made between the 2 of you that you would take the baby, right?
Yes, yes.
According to you, you kept the baby for 2 years.
Yes.
Little girl?
Yes.
Raised her in your home.
Yes.
With the expectation that you were going to be keeping her.
Yes.
And then you had to register her for daycare. You notified the state that her survivor's benefits, because her father was deceased.
Yes, her father was deceased.
Should be transferred to you.
Yes.
And that when Miss Pierce found out that you had done that, she came and took the baby back.
Yes.
And you want to be compensated for the 2 years that you supported this child. That's what your lawsuit is about.
Yes.
Right?
It is correct, Judge Judy.
Miss Pierce, according to you, nothing could be farther from the truth. Miss Wilson did not raise this child. The child lived with you always.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Wilson, during what stage of the pregnancy did you make arrangements with Miss Pierce to take the baby?
At delivery.
At delivery?
At delivery.
Were you in the hospital when the baby was born?
Yes, I was.
Do you have any other children?
Yes, I have 6 other kids.
Are they all grown?
No.
How old are they?
Starting from 4 to 14.
Could you tell me why you chose to take on this additional responsibility?
Because I love kids, and the 6 that I have, it's not biological mine, and
they're not biologically yours.
No, not biologically.
Are they adopted children?
No, just some kids are keeping until their parents can get on their feet and they come and pick them up.
Do you work?
Yes, I work for the Wake County Public Schools.
Who takes care of these children when you're working?
Daycare.
Do you get any assistance from the state for them?
No, because I don't have legal custody of them.
And how long has the 14-year-old been with you?
Oh, she was 6 weeks old.
Is that you? Step up here.
That's my daughter, Tabitha.
Tell me your first name.
Tabitha.
Tabitha. Do you see your biological parents? You do?
Every other week.
Do you go to their house?
Mm-hmm.
You stay with them for a weekend?
Yes, sometimes.
But you've been living with Miss Wilson since you're a baby.
Mm-hmm.
She take good care of you?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do in school?
Good.
Do you help take care of the younger ones?
Mm-hmm. I love them to death. I love little children.
Do you know Miss Pierce's baby?
Yes, ma'am.
What's her name?
Diamond.
Do you remember when Diamond came to live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
She had called us to come to the doctor because she was about to deliver Diamond. So I went with my mom, woke me up, we got dressed, and we went to the hospital. Francis told the doctors to hand her over to my mom when she came out, and my mom walked around and held her, and she smiled at me and my mom. And then that's when they put her in a little bed, and then we all went home. Then 2 weeks later, she called for us to come and get Diamond.
Did Diamond live in your house all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Have a seat. You got no support from this child at all during the time she was with you?
No, I didn't. Not at all.
And tell me what happened after 2 years, Miss Wilson.
I told Francie that I need to put Diamond into...
This is Francie?
This is Francis. I need to put Diamond in daycare, and I needed $90 to do so. And, well, that didn't work. So I went down to Social Security, and filed for Diamond's SSI to come to where Diamond lived, which is my address. I had that done, and then I went back home. In about 2 hours, I called Frances and told her what I had done, and if she rejected, I wouldn't get it, but if she didn't, I would get it for Diamond. And she said, no, you can't, because this is what I need over here. But I said, well, Diamond don't live over there. Diamond lives here. So I'd say an hour, 2 hours, the Raleigh police come to pick her up. That was April the 28th this year, 2000. And I haven't seen her since then, but I want to see my baby. That's my daughter. I mean, she had her, and I love this baby. I want to see the baby. I want to see her.
Miss Wilson, what do you do for the school system?
I'm a teacher's assistant.
You don't have any court papers for any of your children that are living with you?
No court papers, no legal documents.
No guardianship papers?
No.
Tell me why, Miss Wilson. You are not an unintelligent woman. You know that if you have children living with you, for instance, if they need to go to the doctor, and you have to sign a consent form for the doctor to take care of them, who signs that form?
I do. I signed the form.
But you don't have the legal right to sign the form unless you have these papers for your kids. Certainly, this young lady has been with you for all of her life. You are her mother in every real sense of the word. But you should have some papers for her. There are ways that you can get assistance for these children to make your life a little more comfortable.
Judge Judy, the 5 kids, well, the 6 that I have, their mom, they cooperate with me. And when we correspond together, they sign papers, they give me money for them. And that's one reason why, because I didn't want to sign the legal papers for them, because they cooperate. We would talk, and we just got along great. But when it comes down to Miss Frances, we just couldn't communicate. And I love my daughter. That's my daughter.
Well, Miss Wilson, if she did live with you for that 2-year period, and she did not live with her mother, and if you want to fight for custody of her, I believe that you have the right to do that. I can't tell you what the outcome of that case would be, Miss Wilson, but there are certain rules with regard to parenting. You cannot leave your child with someone else for 2 years and just decide to take her back. The court, however, Miss Wilson, will look into your current situation with the other children that you have in your house, and they're going to scratch their heads like I am and say, listen, either this woman should be nominated for sainthood or there's something wrong with her. I have a feeling it's the former rather than the latter, because it seems that you have a working relationship that most courts can't work out for at least 14 years with regard to having a nice relationship with your biological parents, but knowing that you have a secure, stable home with you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
At the time, Diamond's father was going through some problems himself. He was dealing with drugs, staying in and out of prison.
I have a sense that you are struggling with these 3 kids.
I am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shirley Wilson is suing former friend, 27-year-old Frances Pierce, for the cost of caring for Frances' baby.
All right, Miss Pierce, let's hear your side of the story.
Yes, ma'am. I was introduced to Miss Wilson. I was 6.5 months pregnant. At the time, Diamond's father was going through some problems himself. He was dealing with drugs, staying in and out of prison. And at that time, I just moved. I was going through a lot of stress. I found out I was pregnant. I didn't go get any prenatal care until I was 6.5 months pregnant, because I didn't want to realize that I was actually having another child. Just getting myself back on my feet, getting in good, doing good. I said, I don't really want to have this baby. I don't want to abort, okay? I want to find another situation. We sat down, we talked. She'd come to my house. I would go visit her. We talked about maybe giving up for an adoption. I said, well, okay, right now, in the situation I'm in, I can't deal with her father. I know I'm not going to get any help. I'm just getting off of assistance, and my goal is to keep going. I don't want assistance anymore.
Okay, but you had already talked to Miss Wilson with the idea that she would adopt your baby.
Yes, ma'am. But
okay.
She knew, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, then when Miss Wilson came up, that's true, her and the daughter came up and Diamond was born. She did hail Diamond. They talked or whatever. After that, I did not see Miss Wilson anymore till Diamond was like maybe 3.5 weeks old. She did not keep Diamond. Diamond went with Felicia Wilson and her mother. Social service paid them to keep them, because at that time I was working at Winn-Dixie and I was cleaning buildings at night.
What happened after 3 weeks, Miss Pierce?
I went to work. I went back to work.
And
started
who
back
took
working.
Diamond after 3 weeks?
She stayed in my home, but Felicia Wilson and her mother
Social service paid them to keep her while I worked.
Well, tell me under what circumstances she started to stay with Miss Wilson.
Miss Wilson came by and said her school donated a whole bunch of clothes and stuff for Diamond. Brand new clothes. She said, Francis, I understand the situation you're in. She said, we'll sit down and talk about it. Right now it's probably not the right time to talk about it. She said, but I will agree to let Diamond stay in my home if you need it. I said, well, right now I don't really need her to stay overnight. I just need help with daycare until they will approve me to get it, because at that time my assistance was ran out. I wouldn't even be able to apply for any more. When Diamond got 9 months old, she said, I'm attached to her, and I cannot let her go. If we want to do it another way, we can do it. If you don't want to do it the legal way. And I told her I wouldn't do it the legal way because I felt guilty with myself. I can't give her up like that because she got sisters and brothers, and it will break their heart. When she leaves to go over there for the weekend or during the day, they run to her. They want to go with Shirley. Shirley has taken them with her, and she has babysitted my other 2 kids while I work, and I work down the street from her apartment, cleaning. She would come and get my kids. When I get off work, I would go back up the street to get them. I wouldn't apply for child care. They approved me child care for all of my kids under the agreement if I went back and got some trade in school. I did. Went to CET and graduated in medical billing.
Where was Diamond living from the time she was 9 months old?
Off and on between both of our houses during the weekend. She stayed with me during the week.
You don't mean during the weekend?
During the week, Diamond stayed in my home. If she wasn't there babysitting with them, she stayed because Ms. Wilson worked at school. She's a janitor at Wake County. She worked, so how could she keep her in her home when the other kids are in school?
Okay. You have things that you want to show me?
Yes, I have. When I first put Diamond in daycare, I have the daycare papers each day coming home telling me about. I also have Diamond's birth certificate. I have Diamond from birth to 2 years old in pictures.
Let me see.
Judge Judy, the papers she has is the papers when a kid come home from school, it's in the bag. They would say, we need Pampers,
Well,
we need wipes.
I understand exactly what it is. I
Okay.
have grandchildren.
And I have
go
the
to
same
daycare.
papers she has.
Well, let me see them.
I have an application for when I went.
No, show me the bag.
No, I don't. It's a bag. It's a book. You know, your bag.
I understand that. Show me the stuff that came out of the bag that says you picked her up from daycare.
I don't have. She ran on a van. She rode on a van. Transportation was provided for Diamond in her cubby bag. Everything wherever they say her daily. She did this today. She ate this today. We need Pampers. We need wipes.
Yeah, I know that.
Please send. No one had to sign for that. That was just a daily routine for them.
I understand that, but she has it in her possession.
Because when she would call and tell Mr. Mills, I'm coming to pick Diamond up, he would give her the whole bag with the Pampers and everything.
So
in it.
she came to pick the child.
Yeah, in the evening, yes.
She came to pick the child up in the evening.
Yes, ma'am. After she would call me.
Just a second. If she was picking her up in the evening, that suggests to me that she slept at her house.
Sometimes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She went back and had Child Protective Service put on me, Social Security. They cut my daughter's benefit. I could not afford to pay her daycare. They was not only just helping her go to daycare, they was helping my other 2 kids.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shirley Wilson claims 27-year-old mother, Frances Pierce, owes her for 2 years of child care.
So she slept at her house, according to these papers, at least half the time.
No, ma'am.
You know, according to these papers, if she were picking her up in the evening.
Judge Judy, can I explain something?
Yeah.
The way that it works in Raleigh, if I'm at work, I have to sign a statement stating who's authorized to release my kids off the van, which at that time was Mr. Napoleon Mills, was my fiancé.
He's not your fiancé anymore?
No, ma'am. He, at that time, had to work himself. So she would call me and say, Francis, I'm going to come by. I will call Napoleon. Shirley's coming by. Just give her the bag. Everything is in the bag.
Okay, Miss Pierce, right now we have the following problem. We have a problem with Miss Wilson and your daughter Diamond, who were clearly attached to each other, not seeing each other since April 28th. For whatever reason, for whatever anger you may have with each other.
None. I don't have any anger towards her.
Great. You got attached, she got attached. There was a time in the beginning that you were going to let her adopt this child.
Yes, ma'am.
She, even for a short period of time, was laboring under that assumption until you felt as if you couldn't do it legally, according to you, but you would do it in spirit because she could come and take her whenever she wanted to, and she could be as an involved parent as she wished. So she was really doing a good thing because you were at a stress time. But right now your daughter has an attachment to her, and it's not the right thing for her not to see her. It's not the right thing.
I understand that. It was just the fact that I didn't like the procedures. After I told her no, she went back and had Child Protective Service put on me, Social Security. They cut my daughter's benefit. I could not afford to pay her daycare. If she didn't go, they was not only just helping her go to daycare, they was helping my other 2 kids. When they take one out, that means the other 2 come out. That means I have to stop working. I got to depend on other people. I explained that to her. I had to go to legal aid, get lawyers and things.
Okay.
I mean, I understand what she's doing. I have no problem with her seeing Diamond. Diamond loves her to death, but I just did not like the fact that she did not ask me for $90. I paid $191. So giving her $90 ain't no big thing to me. But why should I give it to her when she worked the same time I do?
You have no problem with Diamond spending some time with Miss Wilson
During the day, not overnight.
Okay?
Okay, that's fine. Great.
All right.
Love that.
Now, are you going to be able to work out informally Diamond spending, say, the weekends at Miss Wilson's house?
The weekends. Her biological grandmother has her for the weekends, on the weekends, because they don't have no bond since her father's been dead.
So you mean just recently she's been spending time with her biological grandmother?
Yes, ma'am, she has.
Judge, she don't know her biological grandmama.
That's why she's
'cause I
spending
haven't.
time with her grandmother. Because her father and his mother never got along. She's going through a thing herself. She's not going to live too long. And I feel my commitment to
not
her is
able
to
to
let
take
her
care of
release bond with her biological. I don't have a problem with her seeing her. She knows her biological grandmother. She took her down to her biological grandmother's house to visit her.
Miss Pierce, I have a sense that you are struggling, doing well, but struggling with these 3 kids.
I am.
Because if Diamond's biological grandmother didn't bond with her because she didn't see her for 2 years, and now Diamond is not with Miss Wilson on the weekends, so you really needed somebody else to fill in. So you're getting, so the biological grandmother is a very good vehicle to fill in. That's not right for Diamond.
No, that's not the way it was.
That's not right for Diamond. Well, that's pretty much what you said. She said she hasn't bonded with her biological grandmother, so now she's doing it.
Because of her father.
Well, how long is her father dead?
He's been dead for 2 years.
He's been dead for 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So for the last 2 years, she hasn't been seeing Diamond every weekend.
No, she's been seeing Diamond off and on. Ms. Wilson set it up to her.
Off and on.
Yes, ma'am.
Not every weekend.
No, ma'am.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
So you make arrangements with Miss Wilson. Do it. Because I have a sense that if she believes that Diamond is being well taken care of.
I don't, Judge.
Well, if you don't, then you have to do something, Miss Wilson.
Okay.
If you
What should I
don't, then
do?
I've told you what you have to do.
Okay, I'll do that.
If you think that this child is being shifted around from place to place because Miss Pierce is really overwhelmed, you have a responsibility to this child. And your responsibility is to proceed for the first time, at least, in a legal, formal way.
Okay.
You have to do that. But as far as this case is concerned, you did not have a formal arrangement with her for support for Diamond. So you're going to be unsuccessful. She didn't have any money anyway. The problem is, if you're going to proceed in a legal fashion by going to court, there is going to be a battle. Maybe, maybe not. If you are not going to proceed in a formal legal way, but want to continue to see her when her mother says that you can, then you have to maintain a good relationship with her. You understand?
Yes, I
You have any
understand very
questions at all?
No, I don't.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Good. Good luck to you all. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Hatch. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
You're Timothy.
Yes,
right?
I am.
Who are you?
I'm his wife, Maureen.
Do you have anything to do with this case?
Yes, I do. When we got married, it became just as much my problem because it's...
Sit down for a minute. Thank you. Mr. Crapo, according to the complaint that you filed, you and the defendant had a long-term relationship.
Yes.
There came a point when you separated. When was that?
About a year and a half ago.
And at the time you separated, according to you, you agreed to allow the defendant to charge a dresser for
Yes,
her
I
bedroom
did.
on your credit card.
Yeah.
She did charge a dresser and she paid that off. But then, according to your complaint, she went back and bought a whole bunch of other stuff that she has not paid for.
Not a dime.
Okay. When did she, according to you, purchase the items that she didn't pay for?
I got 3 receipts here, $426.99 at 10:40. Valley Hatch went in, charged $141.13. 10:43, 3 minutes later, $997.45 was charged. Then, 11:20, probably before she even got home, she turned around and went back and charged $393.73.
What's the total amount of the bill?
Well, comes out, when I first got the bill, it was 15 something. It was in 1 year, no interest paid. She kept telling me she was going to pay it off.
Okay, just a second.
The recent bill.
So when you first were notified of these charges,
yes,
did you call her?
I didn't know how to get a hold of her, so I went to her work.
And what was the conversation?
She told me that she was responsible for it, that she would pay it off, that, you know, everything would be taken care of.
You said something about one of these 1 year interest-free stuff. Did
Yeah.
she tell you about that?
Yes, she did, and she told me that she was giving the money to her grandpa to hold, and I asked her, well, why don't you just go pay the bill? She says, well, I'll spend the money that way. If he holds it, I will pay it off at the end of the year, the whole sum. So I kept getting these bills, you know, no interest. It was 15-something, 15-something. Now all of a sudden the year's up, and now I get a bill. My last bill was for, now that they added interest, $2,398.01.
So what happened to Grandpa?
Your Honor, I borrowed money from my grandfather earlier before the relationship had ended. I paid back the money that I owed my grandfather, and my mother and my grandmother was trying to get me into some kind of fund as far as putting a little bit away a week so that I would have some money left over for myself. I never said anything to the plaintiff about that.
Well, sure you did. Ms. Hatch, of course you did. You want to know why I know that you did? Because how would he have known that you were giving money to your grandfather?
Because, I'm sorry, Your Honor, when the relationship had ended, the plaintiff and I were still having phone conversations. We were still talking, and I was telling him about my situation with my grandfather. We were still on a personal level where we could talk to each other at the time.
That is completely wrong, because I was talking to her before I got the bill. All of a sudden I got the bill, I went to her work. She told me that afterwards. I went to her a couple times about it, and
so why don't you
said
pay
she
for your
was gonna
furniture?
take care of it.
Your Honor, through the 4.5 years of the relationship, we both established credit together. We worked. We shared mutual expenses. We bought roughly around $6,000 to $7,000 worth of furniture and stereo equipment.
That is wrong.
Just a second.
And
I don't understand what your defense is to this.
My defense is we had an agreement that I could make these purchases on there. I left him.
You mean an open-ended agreement that you?
It was a verbal agreement, Your Honor.
You mean that you could go and charge whatever you wanted to charge, and that he would pay the bill? That's what you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
So then why, if you think that that was your agreement, why would he come to your place of employment to question you about it?
Your Honor, every time he would try to come in, I was either getting verbally harassed or physically.
That's not what I asked you, Ms. Hatch. Don't try to think of an answer while making something else up.
No.
He came to your place of employment when he got this bill.
Yes.
And you had a conversation with him. And in that conversation, you told him that it was an interest-free loan for a year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So he came to your place of employment and said, "What is this?" Which suggests to me that he was really surprised that in April you went and charged all this stuff.
He knew.
I about hit the floor when I got
just
the
a second.
bill.
He was surprised.
He knew
What-
that I
in
was
what-
making those purchases.
Just a second. In what month and year did you separate?
April of 1999.
So are you telling me the same month that you separated, you went and charged all these things?
Your Honor, when I left with the clothes on my back. Whatever we had established together in the 4.5 years was left behind. I told
we
him
didn't
that
establish nothing
Just a second.
together.
Now, just a second. Now I want to find out about that because I want to see whether there is a certain fairness and equity. How long did you live together?
4 years. She lived with me about 2 years with my mom, and then we moved out the last 2 years. The last 2 years, our relationship wasn't that good. She moved out a few times back.
Just a second.
And
let me ask the questions and get the information that I need.
All right.
Okay. So you lived together for 2 years on your own.
Yeah.
What kind of work were you doing in 98 and 99?
I'm a union carpenter.
And how much did you declare that you earned in 1999?
$48,000.
And what kind of work were you doing?
At the time, I was waitressing in different restaurants.
So you weren't working all the time?
I was working all the time. Yes, Your Honor, I was.
And how much did you declare that you earned in 1999?
Well, on my W-2s that they send to you and then tell you that how much you made for the year, on my W-2 forms, it only said that I had made not even $5,000.
So the year before, did you file taxes?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And how much did you earn in 1998?
I believe it was $9,277. I work off the tips, Your Honor.
In 1998, you remember that it was $9,277 in 1998. But in 1999, you think it was around $5,000.
I believe so through my W-2s from...
You said you believe so. It's just interesting that you remember the exact amount of your tax returns 2 years ago, but not last year. I just find that interesting. Don't you find that interesting?
Very interesting.
Well, yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I think you did make these purchases. Then I think you went and got married and you said, hell with him, let him deal with it.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Sure. Make sure you don't get yourself into any deeper hole than you already are.
And later today,
It was late at night. I had crashed on the couch.
Is that because you've been drinking?
I had some to drink earlier that evening, yes.
He was intoxicated.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Timothy Crapo says ex-girlfriend Valley Hatch owes for unpaid charges for furniture. Valley says there was no agreement to pay back the money.
Okay. What was the rent on the apartment where you lived?
I paid all the rent and paid all the bills the last year and a half because she claimed that she couldn't pay her credit cards off of. So I said, don't pay me, I'll pay everything. You pay off your credit cards and then you can start helping me with bills. Well, towards the end of our relationship, I loaned her $1,000 to pay off her credit cards because she wasn't saying she wasn't getting them paid off.
Just 1 second, let me ask another question. Miss Hatch.
Yes.
How do you get to work?
How do I get to work? Through my automobile.
What kind of car?
I have a 94 Dodge Shadow.
That you purchased yourself?
Yes.
Pay insurance on it?
Yes.
Pay gas?
Yes.
You pay repairs?
Yes.
You buy your own clothes?
Yes.
If you made $5,000 in 1999, you weren't contributing to a whole lot of furniture, stereo sets, couches, and everything else that it takes to set up an apartment, Miss Hatch. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So it sounds to me as if the plaintiff, whatever furniture was purchased by him.
Your Honor, I made tips. So the money that I come home with, that was the money that I pay all my car expenses, my rent, everything with.
You didn't pay rent.
She didn't pay rent.
You didn't pay rent when you were living with him. He was earning $50,000 a year. You were a waitress.
She
He was
bought
not.
nothing.
You were not paying rent.
Your Honor, he did take care of the rent. Yes, he did. I never said that
Electric, food, everything. I paid
Your Honor, I
everything.
shared expenses with him.
No, you took care of yourself. Miss Hatch, your defense was that you walked out of the relationship with nothing, and you each contributed half of those items that were in the house. So as a result of that, the plaintiff said to you, go and charge furniture and I'll pay for it. Well, that sounded as if it might be plausible, except I don't believe you. I don't believe that that's how it happened. I believe that he told you you could make a limited purchase. You did make a limited purchase. You did pay off that limited purchase that you made, and then you said, I need a few more things. I'll go and take care of it. Then let me tell you what I think happened. I think you did make these purchases, and then I think you went and got married.
That's what I feel happened.
Then I think you went and got married, and you said, hell with him. Let him deal with it. Because, oh, yes. That's what happened. Because I see no other reason for him, if you had an agreement to pay for furniture for you, for him to have come to your place of employment, which you acknowledge that he did, to question you about this bill, which you acknowledge that he did, because at that conversation you told him it's an interest-free loan for a year. Don't worry about it. So you did clearly have that conversation with him.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Sure. Make sure you don't get yourself into any deeper hole than you already are.
I was harassed at work. I was physically harassed at work. I have photos of being physically harassed at work.
By whom? By him?
No,
ma'am.
every time me and my wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, she was my fiance, went into Angelo's, which is a club in Maryville, she would run into my wife. She told her not to come in there, would verbally attack her. That's what she's talking about. She verbally attacked my wife. What it boiled down is she charged money. And
she charged money.
She charged money.
She charged money. She intended to pay it. Maybe she intended to pay it.
Yes.
In any event, what is the total bill now with interest?
$2,470.88.
And that's exactly what you're suing for.
And that's what I want.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, I just want to start all over again.
Keep your guard up and don't give anybody anything, I guess.
And now the next case.
All parties on Bloom versus Frank. Step forward, please.
28-year-old student Michael Bloom is suing former roommate, 24-year-old homemaker Teresa Frank, for stealing money out of his day planner. Teresa is denying the charge.
Mr. Bloom, it is your claim that the defendant stole $523. Want to explain to me what makes you think she took your money?
On the date in question, the Sunday the 22nd, my planner turned up missing. The night before, I had received my VA check, cashed it with a friend of mine. We went to a banquet, and after the banquet, we stopped off at Carl Sr. I was counting my money. I had five $100 bills, a 10, 2 5s, and a couple 1s. After we left, I placed it all back in my planner.
What kind of planner?
It's this planner right here, Your Honor. Went back home. It was late at night. I had crashed on the couch. Hadn't been feeling good all weekend, and that's where I stayed all day Sunday until I had to take my friend's car back. When I left, I had grabbed my backpack. I didn't see my planner anywhere. I automatically assumed it was in my backpack, and I left. I went to the store. When I went into my backpack to get the planner out, my planner wasn't there. So I assumed I just didn't grab it. I went back home to get it. Where I had thought I had left it, it was not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I had found it, but there was no money in it.
I said, "Where did you find it?" He said, "In my room."
In your room?
Yeah. I laughed.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Bloom says former roommate Teresa Frank stole $523 from his day planner.
Okay. Do you live with the defendant?
We did, yes.
Were you living with her last month?
Yes.
Was this a roommate of yours, your girlfriend? What was it?
Just roommates, just friends.
How long had she been living there?
Over a year, Your Honor.
So you have 2 different bedrooms?
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead.
We searched the whole house, didn't find it. I looked in my room, I looked in the whole living room, the bathroom, everywhere where I thought I may have put it, and I couldn't find it. A little while later, she was outside with a friend of hers smoking a cigarette. Just instinctively, I'd checked her room. Maybe her son got a hold of my planner, and that...
How old is her son?
Almost 2 years old.
Go ahead.
So I instinctively checked her room, thinking maybe he got a hold of it. I had found it in a brown paper bag. There was some of his toys and some clothing in it. And there was everything else was in the planner, but there was no money in it.
So, what'd you do next?
I said I had found it, and from there she was apologetic about it, said, offered to pay me the money back. And at that time I was very upset. I had to take my friend's car back to her. I said, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it when I get back," and I left the house.
When did you return to the house?
Later on that evening.
What happened later on that evening?
She brought up that she feels that she shouldn't have to pay the full amount that was in the planner because she didn't know that was in there. She offered to pay half, $250, and I went to bed after that.
So what happened?
The next morning I got up. Per the verbal agreement that we had the night before, I wrote up a simple statement saying she would pay me the $250 by the 30th, which was that Monday, which is what we had discussed the night before. She didn't want to sign it.
Did she ever say that she took the money?
No.
Did she offer any explanation as to why the planner was in her room?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. When you said you came home and crashed that evening, was that because you'd been drinking?
I had some to drink earlier that evening, yes.
And is that why you crashed on the couch?
No, at the time my computer was on the coffee table in front of the couch. I was checking my email and watching some TV, and that's ended up where I crashed.
All right, Ms. Frank, now I'll hear from you.
He came in, he was intoxicated on Saturday night, the evening before the planner was missing. And we talked, he fell asleep. The next morning we got up, I went to the grocery store, and my girlfriend stayed there and watched my son. And when I came back, Mike was pulling in right behind me, and I asked him what he was doing back. He said it would be nice to have a license. So, was looking around. I asked while I was bringing the groceries in, "What are you looking for?" He said, "My planner." So me and my girlfriend were looking around the house, helping him look for his planner. We looked everywhere.
prior to him going into my room, we had been in my room dumping out toy boxes because my son does get into, he has gotten his planner before and ripped everything out of it. So we were going through toy boxes, everything in my room as well as everywhere in the house. And we didn't find it. Well, I didn't know where else to look. I said, well, I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. My girlfriend came with me. When we came back in the house, the planner was sitting on the couch. I said, well, isn't that your planner? He said, yes. I said, where did you find it? He said, in my room.
In your room?
Yeah. I laughed.
Who was this girlfriend who was there with you?
She's just a good friend of mine.
When did she come to the house?
She came there with me that day, and she was watching my son and her daughter while I went grocery shopping. She was there by herself.
Did you ask her whether she took your money?
Yes, I did.
What'd she say?
She said no.
Could she have taken your money?
It's highly possible, Your Honor. Anything's possible, I suppose.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. Had you gotten VA checks before?
Yes, I have.
Had you cashed them before?
Yes, I have.
Did you keep the money in the planner?
Yes.
Any money ever missing before?
My planner has come up missing before.
No. Any money
No,
ever
not
missing?
the money specifically, no, Your Honor.
So if no money had ever been missing before in the year that she had been living with you, and if there was at least one other adult in the house, why would you assume that it was her?
I didn't make no assumptions, Your Honor. I was going on the best evidence that I had at the time.
Just a second. When you came home, her friend, who was also babysitting, was in the house.
That is correct.
And was in the house for quite some time alone.
Correct.
So it is possible, Mr. Bloom, that, and I'm not attributing this to your friend, but it is possible that the friend found your planner, took the money, and put the planner in a bag in the room.
Correct.
So how can I find in good conscience, sir, by proof that is even a preponderance of the evidence, that she stole it? How can I find that?
I don't know, Your Honor.
I don't know either. You just answered the question. Thank you very much. The case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Judge. Case number 372 on the calendar in the matter of Shufflin versus Bailey. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Mr. Shufflin, it is your claim that the defendant, with whom you were involved romantically, had borrowed at some point $300 from you for some medical bills as a result of a car accident that she had had. You are no longer involved romantically. You claim that she made one payment to you. I believe you said the payment was $60. Is that right?
Yes.
And so she still owes you $240.
Yes.
She says no way. When did you start to date her?
In about May. I'm not sure exact date, but in May.
Of this year?
Last year.
And when did you make her this loan?
As far as I can remember, it was about June.
Of 99?
Of 99, yes.
And tell me the circumstances surrounding the loan. Okay. She must have told you that she needed money.
Well, basically what happened is she kept telling me when we talked on the phone, her parents were bothering about the money for a doctor bill.
What was the doctor bill for?
A car accident before we even met.
And what did you say to her when she told you that her parents were bothering her about this medical bill?
I said I can loan her $300, but since I don't have the money to be able to give that to her, I'd have to be paid back.
And what did she say?
She said okay.
When did you break up?
Not exactly. Starting about January, February.
Of this year?
Yes, yes.
And when did she make the first payment to you? First and only payment?
A month later, about July.
Did you ask her about the money the remainder of the time? August, September, October, November, December?
No, I never asked her about it.
How come?
I just didn't think about it. I thought she'd pay me back like she paid $6 back. I thought she'd pay me back the rest. She told me that she would. She's always, even if we break up, she'd pay me back the full amount.
Well, I understand that, but for all those months, she never made any further payment. Did you live together?
No, we did not.
You saw each other exclusively?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll hear your version of the events.
The hospital bill was not for a car accident. It was for a miscarriage, or as the hospital puts it, pregnancy complications.
When?
It was in June of
99.
last year.
You started to date the defendant in May of 99?
Mm-hmm.
When in May?
I think like the 11th.
Where did you meet?
Him and his friends picked up on me at the mall.
And when did you have your first date with him?
Jeez, I don't know. He called me the next day. I guess we hung out like a week later.
So that would have been, hanging out would have been, say, the 18th of May. Is that right?
Yeah.
When you said you hung out, was that a date?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I don't remember.
We went to the movies.
And do you recall how much after this first movie date that you had any intimate relationship with him?
Only like 2 weeks.
2 weeks after that?
Yeah.
All right. 2 weeks after that would have brought you to the end of May.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Now I'll see your paper.
It's really small, sorry.
When did you go into the hospital?
The 23rd of July.
In your reply, you said this all started in June of '99 when I became pregnant by the plaintiff.
I got pregnant in June, but I was in the hospital in July because I was about 4 weeks along.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about this automobile accident that you had.
The automobile accident was like 2 months before I met him, like a month before I met him, something like that.
Right. Tell me about it.
I was on my way back from a friend's house with my best friend at the time. Her mom was driving, her sister was in the car. It was 5 o'clock traffic on a Friday night. There was a guy behind us, he wasn't paying attention, and he hit us from the back. It was like nothing.
Did you see a doctor?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you say that this $300 that he gave you was towards the medical bill for this pregnancy that you had after you met him.
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell him that?
Yes, he knew.
So tell me what you told him.
I called him one day crying because I thought that I was pregnant, and I didn't know what to do. And he said...
Had you been using birth control?
No.
Why not?
Because I was being stupid, basically. I wasn't thinking, and
yes,
that was wrong of me.
Yes.
And he said something along the lines of, well, if you are, we'll take care of it. And then I started bleeding about a week before I went into the hospital, and I ended up in the hospital at like 4:30 in the morning because I was bleeding really bad and I was cramping really bad, and my dad didn't know what was going wrong with me.
And is that what you claim he gave you the $300 for?
Yes, it is. And I gave him back $100, not $60.
Did you show him the bills?
I never saw the bills myself.
Why not?
I was 17 years old. My stepmom handled it.
And you're 18 now, is that
Yes.
it? How old are you?
19.
Within a couple of weeks after you met, you claimed that you were pregnant by the plaintiff.
Yes.
Did you have any other boyfriends before the plaintiff?
Yes, I have had boyfriends.
Did you have any intimate relations with anyone else before the defendant?
No.
No?
Not until, well, it was 2 years prior. And it was one time.
I mean, there was something about him that you found irresistible?
I guess. Couldn't tell you what it was, but...
One of the problems that I have, sir, is that after you gave her this money, you didn't ask for it back in the 6 months that you continued to date, right?
Yes.
So what I want to know is, why now?
I wanted it back for a long time. I just never got around to going to the courthouse and filing the suit for it. That's basically, I wanted it. It wasn't a loan at all. It was not meant to be a loan. I just never got around to the courthouse.
You said it wasn't meant to be a loan?
I mean a gift. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I never gave her money for a doctor bill, and she never told me that the money I gave her was for the pregnancy of the doctor bill. If it had been for that,
cool.
I will pay for that if it is
You know
for
better
that.
than that.
Miss Bailey, the problem that I have is that you say you paid some of this money back.
I did.
Why?
Why? Because he was like getting a new job, and he was kind of in between jobs, I think, at the time, and he had just bought a car. And there was this thing that he really, really wanted to get for the car, and I happened to have just gotten paid, so I gave him the money. And the only reason why we're standing here today is because he's mad because he cheated on me and I broke up with him.
Now, you say that this money was used for complications as a result of pregnancy.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't a gift. Just because you had a medical bill doesn't mean that he obligated himself to pay it.
It's his baby. He should have to pay half of it.
That's not written anywhere, madam. Where's that written?
You're telling me that if this happened to you, you wouldn't think that...
This wouldn't happen to me, madam. I'm smarter than that. We're not talking about things that are moral. We're talking about things that are legal. You see, if two people are not married, there is no presumption that this child is his child. None whatsoever. If two people are married and the wife becomes pregnant, They are jointly and severally responsible. That means both of them together and each of them individually are responsible.
Know what it means?
Are responsible for the hospital bill or any bills as a result of this pregnancy. But when two people are not married and they choose to have sex, unprotected sex, the woman, unfortunately, is usually the one that gets stuck if there's a complication. But there is nothing in the law that says he is responsible to pay for half of anything until he has adjudicated the father of a child. And that doesn't happen until after a baby is born, and they can do blood tests, but not before. That's the law. Now, that may be unfair to women, but that's the law. So you have to give them back, and I will give you credit for the $100. You say it was $100, you say it was $60, Mr. Schleffen, it's not such a big deal. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. That's all.
Thank you. Parties are excused. You may step out.
Don't ever date this boy. Ever.
Don't date her?
And now the next case.
All parties on Chavez versus Johnson. Step forward.
43-year-old construction worker Chris Chavez is suing former landlord, 43-year-old dance instructor Christy Johnson, for the return of a security deposit and rent after she evicted him without notice. Christy says Chris was constantly drunk.
Mr. Chavez, you rented a room from the defendant,
Yes, Your Honor.
and according to you, she unceremoniously told you you had to leave after several weeks.
Yes.
And you are suing her for the return of your security deposit
Correct.
and any prorated rent.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes.
And she said she was forced for safety reasons to have you evicted immediately, and that she's not returning your security deposit because there was damage to the room. That's what this case is about, right?
Mostly.
That's good enough for me. Mostly is good enough for me. Okay. How much was your security deposit?
The security deposit was $294.50.
And the rent?
$350.
When did you move in?
On August 8th,
And when were you told to leave?
August 27th, I believe it was. Not real accurate of the date when I left. I was too afraid, and a lot was going on.
Okay. Is it correct that he left on the 27th, that you told him to leave on the 27th?
I gave Chris notice in writing. First, I gave him a letter on the 23rd trying to work out the problems that were going on. And I think it was a day or two later I gave him a notice in writing and asking him to leave by Saturday, which I think is the 27th.
27th. So then you owe him some money for rent.
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Yes, you do.
Your Honor?
Yes.
He paid rent through the end of the month.
Yes.
And he left of his own free will.
You told him to leave by Saturday. That's what you just told me.
Yes.
What do you mean? How could he leave of his own free will, madam, if you gave him a letter telling him that he had to be out by sundown on Saturday? That's not leaving of his own free will.
Well, I didn't have to get anybody to kick him out.
Are you for real?
Yes. Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Now, let's talk about his security deposit. What was wrong with the apartment?
He had left all his stuff there, and that is because he got in a car accident while being drunk.
What was wrong with his room that you did not return his security deposit?
I had to spend my time packing up his things, cleaning the room. I had to paint the room. He started painting the room and didn't finish the job, so I had to buy paint and paint the room.
Because you kicked him out?
No, he did the job before he moved in, which was around the 9th or 10th. And we're talking 2 weeks later, Your Honor. And I'm asking for the rent to be deducted from the 1st of the month to the 23rd of the month of September, because he didn't give me a 30-day notice, and it cost me money to pay for the rent while he was not there.
Get real.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Chris Chavez claims former landlord Christy Johnson evicted him without notice. Christy says Chris was constantly drunk around her children.
Go ahead.
I have a letter here that I gave him on the 23rd of August that outlines the fact that he had been
Can I see the letter, please?
Sure.
drunk in my home for several days, had not gone to work, had lied to me, had totally misrepresented himself to me.
Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing this note because it seems that you have a hard time talking to me, or maybe anyone, about what's going on with you. I know that you are having a hard time right now and invite you to talk to me about the big stuff in your life. Go deeper in your conversations with me. I don't want to live with someone who clams up and holds up in his room for days on end. I am concerned about you. This is not what you write to a tenant. You write to a tenant, you're leaving your garbage in the hall, your dog is pooping all over the stairway, you know, because you leave food out, there are roaches all over the place. You don't write a tenant that you don't want to live with somebody who clams up and doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, Your Honor, he didn't talk to anybody for
Who cares?
about 6
He doesn't
days.
have to talk about us to his soul.
Well, he lied to his boss. He told his boss that he couldn't come into work.
What difference does that make to you?
Well, the difference that it makes to me, Your Honor, is that he was drunk in my home, and I have 2 small children, aged 5 and 9.
No. You don't say that here.
Yeah.
No, you don't say that here. You said, I am also concerned for my family. It is apparent to me that you have a drinking problem. We have also smelled cigarette smoke coming from your room. I have lived with drinkers, and I know the symptoms. I have been in enough bars in my life to know the smell of booze in the air. You try very hard to hide these facts, but you're not fooling me. Okay? Doesn't say that he did anything untoward towards you, did anything untoward towards your children, came home and threw up all over your living room couch. It said that you smelled alcohol on his breath and that you know the symptoms of alcoholism.
Your Honor, the smell permeated the house. I also...
Then you made a mistake in renting the room to him.
I did make a mistake.
Then what a landlord does is a landlord gives somebody 30 days notice and says, go and find yourself another room.
I was afraid to let him stay in my house.
Then how dare you even suggest to me that you want him to pay September's rent because he didn't give you 30 days notice? Doesn't that sound ridiculous to you?
Not to me, Your Honor.
Well, it sounds ridiculous to me. It probably sounds ridiculous for the other 10 million people who are going to watch this program, I think.
I feared for the safety of myself and my children. It was very stressful. It was very scary. This man was drunk, and he urinated his pants and didn't know it. This man had sushi in his room for 3 days, smelled like a dead animal was coming out of his room.
Okay.
He was so drunk. I have receipts there that show that he, every day for 6 days, he bought a quart of Bacardi rum and Pepsi. He stayed in his room.
How did you find those receipts?
to drink it. When I cleaned his room because he refused to take his stuff away. They were in the trash.
You had an obligation to give him 30 days notice, Miss Johnson. Was half the room painted, sir?
It was all painted except for the trimming, trim the edges. That's all I had to do to be finished with it.
I read your papers, and I understand that you were going through a difficult personal time in your life.
Yes.
You were going through a separation from your wife?
Yes.
Your Honor, excuse me, he lied to me when he moved in. He did not tell me he was separating from his wife. He told me
not true, Your
he
Honor.
was in a roommate situation. The house was being sold and he had to leave.
What difference does that make to you?
Well, because it set up a lot of lies. He misrepresented himself as an upstanding young man who worked constantly, and he didn't do any of those things. And I, after doing research...
You're a landlord,
I found
madam.
many of those
You're
things
not his
wrong.
companion.
No.
You're not his therapist.
No.
If he wants to tell you that he's living with 6 monkeys, that's his business. He doesn't have to tell you that he's separated from his wife. That information he doesn't have to share with you at all.
No, he didn't, Your Honor.
Right. He does. You're absolutely right.
moving out-
But my question is, Mr. Shevins, did you drink a little too much during that period of time?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't drive. I just stayed in my room, worked on computer.
Is what you're telling me is you knew enough that you had had too much to drink to drive your car.
Exactly. I did not drive my vehicle.
Your Honor, that's a lie. He drove his car while he was drunk. He got in a car accident. He told me while he was drunk.
Has nothing to do. He's not your boyfriend, madam.
No, he is
He's
not
not
my
your boyfriend. He's a tenant.
But he's dangerous, and he was in my home.
He did not do anything dangerous in your home.
He was bumping into walls.
Oh, Miss Johnson.
In my home.
Yeah, I would suggest that you not rent to anybody else.
I am not, Your Honor.
Good. It's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. You throw him out and you want him to pay the next month's rent because he didn't give you 30 days notice. And I'm issuing a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $350.50. That's all.
Parties are excused. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. You folks have a seat, please.
All right, Mr. Ahrens, it is your claim that Mr. Payton assaulted you.
Correct.
There is sort of a companion case here that I will address either during this case or at some point immediately after involving a Mr. Spear. Is that you?
That's correct.
And you weren't actually there during the course of this whole event, but you allege your car got damaged by Mr. errands while he was drunk. When did this assault take place, sir?
The assault itself occurred at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was with my friends.
I need a date, sir.
December 18th. At 3 in the morning.
12/18/04.
Correct.
Where were you?
I was in the parking lot of the Hilton Hotel, located in Corvallis, Oregon.
What were you doing there?
My friend had a party right next door. It was his birthday party.
And what time had you arrived at the party?
10 o'clock.
How many people were there?
Roughly 8.
A lot of drinking.
Yes, we were all over 21.
I didn't ask how old you were. I said there was a lot of
Yes, there
drinking.
was a lot of drinking.
What were you drinking then?
I was drinking Miller Lite.
Nothing other than beer.
Correct.
And what happens?
We were outside, out front. There's a fence separating his house and the parking lot. And we were out front there. I was with my friends, Jason. Well, they're actually acquaintances. About 3 girls came out of the Hilton Hotel. At that point, we called over to them to come over and talk to us. So they came over to where we were.
What did you say to them?
I don't exactly remember exactly what we said, but we said, hi, what's going on tonight? What are you guys doing at the Hilton? At that point, approximately 3 to 4 men came out of the hotel and immediately came over to where we were. Mr. Payton targeted me specifically, and he started going after me. I could tell he wanted to fight. He was very aggressive towards me.
Well, tell me what he did, sir.
He said as soon as he came out of the hotel, he said that he saw me looking at him and saluting in a Hitler-like way. I don't know what he was talking about.
Do you know what he's talking about, Mr. Payton?
I know exactly what he's talking about.
What is he talking about, Mr. Payton?
When I walked out of the hotel, we walked over to the young ladies, and they seemed upset, so I walked over and asked him to stop, and he was on the other side of the fence, and he gave me one of those.
Can I interject at this point?
What were you doing at the Hilton Hotel that evening?
The dorms were closed at our university, and I was staying there for a school function.
Okay. What time had you started drinking that night?
I'm 18 now, I didn't drink.
Okay, Ben. So you're outside.
And I'm speaking with my friends. It becomes a verbal altercation at that point. So I came over to the fence.
So you jumped over the fence?
Correct, yes.
Why didn't you just go home like you were planning to go?
I wasn't planning on going home that night.
Well, what were you doing outside, Ben?
We were just out front of his house so that we didn't wake up his friends.
I don't understand that, Ben. You were outside because you were making too much noise to be inside?
That would be correct, yes. At that point, I explained to him what I was doing.
What did you mean you explained to him? What does that mean, I explained to him?
I told him, I repeated the motion of this. I told him that's the only thing I could have possibly done at that point when he came outside. I told him that. He said, okay, that's all right. And then we shook hands. We exchanged names. We asked them what they were doing, and they said they were going to go and get beer and food. So they got in their car, and they took off. They came back about 10 minutes later, maybe 15 minutes later, and we were still outside.
What were you doing outside, Ben?
We were just sitting on the curb. There's a curb. We were just sitting there. We were just talking amongst ourselves.
Go ahead.
The 3 girls that were with them, I believe they went straight into the hotel, or
Because they didn't want to talk to you anymore.
I don't know if they didn't want to talk to us anymore, or if they were just
They didn't
back.
want to talk to you anymore. They went right inside.
They went inside.
Go ahead.
Peyton and his friends, they stayed with us out there, and we talked. And at that point, there became a verbal altercation between Mr. Peyton and one of the witnesses, Brown. And I believe it was over food. I believe he asked them if they brought him any food back.
Where is Mr. Brown?
Mr. Brown is unable to come.
So he's not a witness.
Okay.
Because
no.
he's not here.
Okay.
So Mr. Brown, one of your friends, asked Mr. Peyton...
Well, he wasn't my friend, he was my acquaintance.
Your acquaintance.
Correct.
On your curb.
Yes.
Asked Mr. Peyton how come they didn't bring him back any food.
Yes.
You think that was because Mr. Brown maybe had a little too much to drink?
Possibly, yes.
Keep going.
So at that point, there was a verbal altercation between him and Mr. Peyton, and I believe Jason might have gotten involved in it a little bit. At that point, I got up and I got in between them, and I pushed them aside, and then I'm not sure exactly what he did. That's about where my memory ends. Shortly after that point, it was because he had struck me to the face. I received a massive concussion. I have photos here if you'd like at this time. You can take a look at that. I fell back. I hit the concrete. I lost about 1.5 pints of blood. You can see my cheek there. It was possibly dislocated.
Looked like you fell back really hard.
Yes. At that point, I had a concussion. I do not remember anything from that point
Good.
on.
Now, Brian.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Like you said, the young ladies did come out the...
Why don't we start with the young lady?
Oh, okay then.
Because you weren't there. The young lady was there first. Is
Can I
that right?
interject at this point?
No.
Okay.
You came out at some point of the Hilton Hotel.
Yes. Ben and his friends were yelling at us, and...
What were they yelling?
To come over and, like, what were our names, and we could tell that they were very intoxicated. And then the boys came out and were like, these guys won't leave us alone. They keep yelling at us, and they're very intoxicated. And so I believe that Brian asked them to leave us alone.
Did you go out with Brian and his friends for some food?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a yes.
Yes.
What happened when you came back?
We got out of the car, and they started yelling and stuff like that, and then Ben started beating the car. And the car alarm...
Whose car was it?
Your
Honor. Your car. He started beating with what? With his fists?
Mm-hmm. And the car alarm was going off. All of us actually asked him numerous times to stop it, and he wouldn't. Brian went up to him to get him to stop, and Ben turned around really fast, and his fist came up, and so Brian obviously felt threatened if he was beating the car this much, and so Brian hit him, and he fell back on the ground and hit his head.
Okay. The police were called?
Yes.
You have the police report?
I have the police report. And
I'd like
if
to
there's
see it,
something I
please.
could say. The police interviewed all the witnesses.
I'd like to see both police reports, and Ben, I can read. You don't have to tell me what it says.
Can I just point one out thing, though, please?
Yes?
They interviewed all the witnesses there, and they took down their names. Her name's nowhere in the police report.
Well, it may not be in the police report, but did they take down the names of the 3 girls who were...
No, they did not.
Well, so?
I don't recognize her at all. I'm not sure who she is. They interviewed everyone who was there at the time
Listen
of the
to
incident.
me. You were so blind drunk, not a question in my mind, that you wouldn't know her if she came up and bit you in the behind. You said there were 3 girls that came out. It's my job to ascertain who tells the truth and who lies. She told a very cogent story. There is no reason to say that she's lying about being one of the 3 girls that came out that night that spoke to you.
Why didn't the police interview her then?
I have no idea, sir. I have enough trouble figuring out why I'm here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We were drinking, him included. He started picking a fight. I can quote him on, I can kick 2 of your guys' right now.
Hands off your hips.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Ben Aaron says, during a night of partying, he was assaulted by college football player Brian Payton. Brian says Ben was drunk and out of control. In a separate lawsuit, Adam Spear is suing Ben Aarons for denting his car.
How did you get the injuries to your hands, sir? How did you get the injuries?
I didn't have any injuries on my hands.
I noted that Mr. Aarons had injuries to both of his hands. He had abrasions and red marks on his fingers that were consistent with him striking something.
This is the photograph of the injury to my hands. This is the dent that my hands allegedly created.
That's one hand. I'll take a look at it. Absolutely.
If you look in the report, it says injuries to both hands.
Right.
If there's injury to both hands, you would see it. The only thing that photo shows is a red strap mark from where I was strapped into the stretcher. You can see that.
No. Police officer noted, sir, that there were massive dents on a car. That would be Mr. Spear's car. And the police officer said to you, did you strike that car? And you said, I don't remember. That was the answer that you gave to the police.
Correct.
Police also said that in addition to beer, you drank liquor.
Yes.
That's what you told the police.
Okay, yes.
You didn't remember to tell me that.
I'm sorry.
Police officer also noted that you and your friends were all drunk. Right?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Could I interject with one more thing, please? I have a medical report from when I was there. They did a full body analysis on me. There's nothing in there about any injury to my hands. The only thing I could have imagined that he would have seen is I have a medical injury.
Let me explain something to you, sir. You hit his car. You were drunk, and you fisted his car. You may not remember it, but that's what you did. That's what happens when you drink too much. Ben?
Allegedly, yes.
That's what happens when you drink too much, sir. You act goofy and stupid. You try to pick up girls that don't want to have anything to do with you. You hang around where you shouldn't be hanging around outside. And you act goofy and stupid. And you get yourself into trouble when you drink too much. Isn't that right?
Not entirely, no.
Well, you were acting goofy and stupid, too, according to the police report. All of his friends were drunk.
Oh, does it specify my name in there?
Were you at the party?
Yes, I was.
And you weren't drunk?
They didn't take individual
I
statements.
didn't ask you that question, sir. I said...
I was drinking, but I was not drunk, Your Honor. I'm here for a reason. I'm not his friend. I met him that night.
Good.
I'm here because I can remember things. Everybody else there was too wasted.
Why? She wasn't wasted.
Huh? I'm talking at the party that we were there.
This young lady isn't wasted, sir.
And you know what? She also wasn't there at the moment of the assault.
Step up. Step up. Go ahead.
Kind of twisted that around a little bit. I'm not denying that he hit any car.
Good.
I didn't.
So let's start
Okay,
there.
let's start
there. He hit the car.
I did not see him hit the car, no.
Okay. So you weren't there the entire
No.
time?
No, I was outside most of the time. I was inside for maybe 3 minutes the whole time.
He was there when I actually got hit. And
I was there and witnessed the assault.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it? Okay.
Take your hands off your hips.
We were standing there having drinks. His friends and him among us had beer. They brought a case of beer. We were drinking, him included. Mr. Payton, was pretty hot-headed the whole time. The moment he came up, he started picking a fight with me and Brown, who's not here today. I can quote him on, you guys are pretty stupid. I don't want to hang out with you guys. I don't want to sit here and drink with you. I'm going back to my hotel. I can kick 2 of your guys' right now. That set me, who's pretty hot-headed, if you can't tell, and Brown off. We kind of got up in his face, and he did the same. Some words were said. That's when Ben said he came up and tried to break up the thing. He went back to the hotel for a while with the girls. We still hung out with his 2 other friends. He came back out. And
Hands off your hips.
All right. He came back out. Some more words were said. Ben, at the time, was sitting on the curb drinking a beer. He stood up. Ben wasn't even looking at him. We were all talking. He walked over to Ben and cheap-shotted Ben in the jaw.
So after they left, instead of going back to the house, you stayed in the parking lot. You remember why?
It's a place to sit. We were there already. I can just stay where I want, I believe. It's not against the law.
I love it when it all comes together. Just let him talk. Right?
That's what you do best.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Payton.
Yes.
Here's your problem, sir. Your problem is the statement that you made to the police. And the sum and substance of that statement was that he was loud and obnoxious and drunk.
Yes.
And he kept hitting on Mr. Spears' car.
Correct.
And you told him to stop. And he walked away, and he came back and he hit the car again. And then you hit him.
That's basically, yes, what happened. I didn't intentionally walk to him to hit him. Like, I came back around the vehicle because I walked through the back of the vehicle towards the Hilton.
Whatever. Let me tell you what you said to the police.
Okay.
Mr. Payton, you said to the police, I told him to knock it off. Mr. Payton said that he started to walk away twice, and each time Mr. Aarons began striking the vehicle again. Mr. Payton said that he told Mr. Aarons one last time to quit striking the vehicle, and when he failed to stop, he hit him.
Yeah.
I asked Mr. Payton how many times he hit Mr. Aarons, and he said twice. And that you struck him both times in the face.
Yes.
And you said you were shocked that he fell down because you didn't think you'd hit him that hard. Well, but he was drunk.
Yeah.
Now you can stand up. I'm going to hear this other case. You want to get that folder now because I don't have to hear it twice. I've just heard the facts of the case. This is Spear against Aarons.
Case number 49.
Very good. You have an estimate for the damage to your car?
Yes, I do.
May I see it, please?
Would you like the court fees that's been costing you?
No, just the damage to the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's Mr. Norris? Is he a friend of yours?
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you what Mr. Norris told the police. It says in the police report, this is the interview. Mr. Norris stated that after Mr. Payton told Mr. Aarons 3 different times to stop hitting the car, he walked up and struck him in the face.
Yeah, I'm not denying that I hit him.
You can't do that. Brian, you can't do that. Now, do you have any unreimbursed medical bills, sir?
Yes, sir. Oh, ma'am.
Hand them up. These are all unreimbursed medical bills, is that right?
Correct.
You had no insurance.
My insurance was denied, yes, no insurance.
You go to school full time?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a job?
No, ma'am.
You can't hit somebody because they're damaging property. He has over $5,000 in unreimbursed medical bills. You have to take care of that. I say this to you, sir, that I think you behaved badly that night, but for the fact that this young man had no right to hit you, believe me, you would leave here today without a judgment. But the law is clear. You cannot defend somebody else's property with physical violence. So I'm awarding you your judgment of $5,000. You are entitled to that. On your claim, I'm awarding you a judgment against Mr. Arans for $1,500 so that you can fix your car. Anything you want to say to me?
I have right here a list of all the instances where people were hit by OSU football players in the past several months here, and I believe that this shows that there's a lot of animosity from athletes who are out of line and out of control. This happened at 3 a.m. past curfew.
Listen to me, sir. I have no particular axe to grind. I don't even like athletes. What I don't like are young people who get so drunk that they can't remember what's happened. According to the police, according to the doctor, you reeked of alcohol, you had no memory of the assault because you were drunk. Because if you had had any kind of negative vibes with them during the course of the evening, and if you were sober, I can't believe you would be stupid enough to sit in the parking lot of the hotel where they were staying, not you. That's what you keep wanting to answer me, sir, and I'm telling you, that's what happens when you're drunk and stupid. Bad things happen. That doesn't mean he had the right to assault you. It just means that your actions, your purposeful actions in consuming too much alcohol was the proximate cause of all of these events that spiraled out of control that night. And if that's the way you can consume your alcohol, I suggest to you that you don't drink anymore. This case is over. Thank you.
Sản phẩm mình đang cầm trên tay đây là dòng vitamin E đỏ và mỗi hộp như thế này thì gồm có 30 viên nang. Thì với cái công dụng, cái tác dụng của dòng vitamin E đỏ mang lại đó là sẽ hỗ trợ chống oxy hóa, trẻ hóa làn da và giúp làn da của chúng ta khi mà có những ai mà có cái làn da khô ráp thì sẽ trở nên căng mịn và cái làn da sẽ được mềm mại hơn và sẽ hỗ trợ giúp cùng những cái vùng da mà bị chảy xệ thì sẽ trở nên được săn chắc và nó sẽ tái tạo cái tế bào da mới, giúp da được trắng sáng và khỏe mạnh hơn, hỗ trợ xóa các cái vấn đề như là thâm, nám, tàn nhang, các cái vấn đề như mụn trứng cá, thâm mụn và trả lại cho chúng ta một làn da láng mịn và trắng sáng một cách tự nhiên. Và đối với dòng vitamin E đỏ này thì nó sẽ còn hỗ trợ các cái tình trạng tóc rụng, khô xơ, bạc sớm, giúp tóc được dày dặn và suôn mượt tự nhiên hơn. Và những người mà nên sử dụng cái dòng vitamin E đỏ này là những người mà cần bổ sung cái lượng vitamin E, hoặc là những người có cái làn da khô, nứt nẻ hay là da bong tróc, những người muốn chống lão hóa từ bên trong, hoặc là những người mà đang muốn tăng cái khả năng như là thụ thai. Và cái cách dùng cái dòng vitamin E đỏ này thì chúng ta sẽ uống một viên trên một lần và trên một ngày vào buổi sáng, hoặc là chúng ta dùng cùng với bữa ăn trưa. Chúng ta sẽ bóc lớp vỏ, lấy cái phần vitamin E đỏ ở bên trong. Chúng ta có thể cũng là làm một cái mặt nạ cho da mặt của chúng ta đều rất là